Doug Space Nine. Doug Space Nine. Ooh, nice asteroid noise.
Thank you.
That was a good asteroid noise. Holy shit.
And then the shuttle. Ba, 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 ba.
It's Doug Space Nine time.
Bum, bum,
Doug Space Nine. Whee! Here we
Cleared
go.
for docking.
We're here. Huzzah! It's time. It's been like a month since we've done this at all, and we've never done this on Twitch before. This is very exciting. If you're watching this on YouTube, it is not live. I'm going to post this on YouTube later. So all the old episodes are on YouTube if anyone here on Twitch wants to see what we've been up to. But this is Doug Space Nine. This is my friend Doug.
Twitch debut.
His last name is actually Space Nine, which is really strange.
But not without a space.
Right.
It's not like Space Nine.
Right, exactly.
Space Nine.
It's not Doug Space Nine.
Right,
No, that would be ridiculous.
Like Good Space Guy?
Douglas Space Nine. What'd you say?
Good Space Guy?
Good Space Guy?
Oh
What's
yeah,
that?
there's like an interesting character who runs for political office out here all the time, who his name is Good Space Guy.
I've never heard of that. That sounds ridiculous. Fantastic.
Yeah. He's got some real issues.
Like political issues?
Yeah, it's a trip, man. Just Google Good Space Guy and read some of his what I would get done kind of things.
I'll check it out.
He on the one hand talks about Spaceship Earth and it sounds really cool, and then he gets really into like parking stuff, and it's he's a trip. Anyway,
Spaceship Earth and parking.
Yeah.
Those are the things that matter. So this is a show where we talk about every episode of Deep Space Nine, usually 2 per episode. Or per stream of Doug Space Nine. And
we never talk about any other Star Trek.
We never talk about anything else. It's like very monofocused.
Very focused.
Speaking of, have you watched any season 2 of Discovery? Yeah,
of course.
It's great.
You mean the greatest Star Trek series ever?
No, absolutely not.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
It will get there, though.
Here's the thing. Whenever they show, like previously ons, where they talk about season 1.
You're like, oh right, this show's
I'm like,
dog
yeah,
shit.
This was trash. It was awful, and I despised it. But
I still like season 1, but season 2 is even better.
Season 2 is great.
Yeah.
I'm really liking it, and they are correcting everything I didn't like about the show, like systematically kind of going through and addressing everything that I thought was dog shit, and like retconning it and like reversing it and fixing
I've seen a lot of discussions about that, about it being fixed or it being retconned. I don't think that's the case. I think this is just the standard slow progression of a show. Yeah, because you could watch season 1 of TNG and watch season 2 and be like, oh boy, they retconned and fixed a bunch of shit, but not really, because there wasn't the same kind of
but
like,
season 1 of TNG is wonky, but it's not
That's
complete and
terrible.
utter garbage.
It's
like season 1 of Discovery is by far the worst Star Trek that's ever existed, in my opinion. Worse than the animated series.
The animated series is real cute, though. I mean, TOS is worse than the animated series.
I mean, good episodes of TOS are better than like good episodes of almost any Star Trek, but they're rare.
That's to be
like,
fair. I mean,
there's a lot
the
of
second
terrible
episode
episodes.
of Discovery season 2 is one of the best episodes of Star Trek ever.
You think so? That's the Prime Directive episode, right? The one where they go to that planet of like human colonists.
No, I'm thinking of the one where they're like, it was like super actiony when that one, spoiler alert, dude gets smashed by the asteroid. Like
that's the pilot, wasn't it?
No, that's the second one. The first. Anyways, there's
the one where they like find Tig Notaro.
Yeah,
I think that's the first one.
Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was my least favorite episode so far of the season.
Oh, interesting.
I liked the first half of it a lot.
Yeah.
But like the actiony stuff, I just thought was ridiculous.
I love the action stuff.
The action stuff feels a lot like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek stuff, which is like, it's okay and I like it, but I don't love it.
But this split the difference where it's like it's actiony, but it's still like a Star Trek. And then the second one where they're like, oh, look at this planet. Oh, it's got an old school church on the ground. You're like, yeah, this is classic TOS.
That was classic TOS.
Yeah.
I see that kind of like, I didn't love that episode, but I really liked it. I'm like, okay, this feels like Star Trek. I feel like they're trying, but just kind of like slowly over time throughout the course of the first 4 episodes, they just really kind of won me over.
Yeah.
I've really been enjoying it. You know what really kind of got me was seeing Ash Tyler on the Klingon homeworld being interesting.
Yeah.
Like you made the least interesting character, the one who made no sense, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And they're now addressing the fact that he makes no sense.
Yeah.
But why doesn't he just get changed back to being a Klingon? Why not? They haven't answered that.
In universe, I don't think that it's a thing that they'll ever answer. I mean, honestly, in universe, it's galling that they're like, oh, he's basically like a new person. They're very weirdly treating him like...
That still bothers me.
Yeah, it's not like in the past where they've had, eventually we re-meet him in DS9, but like the first Klingon that was made to look like a human.
Kor, I think?
No.
Oh, Koloth? No. We meet Kor and Koloth.
Right.
Oh, no, you're talking about, Darbin.
I was gonna say Darmok, but that's...
the human name was... I don't remember his Klingon name.
Right, but that dude...
You're talking about Trouble with Tribbles guy.
Yes, right.
Yeah, who was surgically altered to a human.
Right, he's the first one where they've done that.
I forgot about that. You're right, they did that. There's a history of that.
That's right. This is par for the course. Except in their case, they didn't treat him like he was a human now.
Right.
He was still a Klingon who had gone through all of this stuff to look
I
human.
hate that you reminded me that is straight out of TOS. that is what Klingons do, you know?
I mean, this is, again, I don't want to keep beating the same drum to death, but this is what I've been saying, is that I feel like Discovery, once you take a longer view and step back, and especially give it room to breathe, it's really going to fit nicely into the Star Trek canon, with warts and all.
I think that it will... I've always hoped that you were right about that, and I've said, like, I hope that it gets better, and it is getting better, and I'm really enjoying it now.
Enterprise pulled it off, where people despised
yeah.
Enterprise, and then it's a shame it didn't get season 5 with Shran on the bridge.
I totally
agree.
Oh
that would have been so good.
So fucking rad.
And
Amanda.
Oh, hi, Amanda.
Black screen after the ad. It's definitely working. I can see the Twitch broadcast that it is working. So, do you have Twitch?
No, maybe I do.
We should double check. I've heard people say this before, that like they couldn't see me, but other people could.
Oh.
Try refreshing, Amanda, because you want to see us, because we got
the universe.
We got new shit today. It's not on the screen yet, but
the universe is saving her from hearing you say that you're getting on board with Discovery season 2.
I really been enjoying it though. I really liked. I also
I'm glad. I mean, I'm not being like.
Oh no, totally. And
I want people that like it to like it, and people that hate it to just go ahead and keep hating it. You know?
Yeah, totally.
People hate DS9.
Yeah,
that blows my mind.
And you even said before, like when TNG came out, TOS fans hated it.
People protested.
This is the way that
people
it goes.
Made signs.
But I still maintain that the first season of Discovery is rightfully hated because it's bad, and it's fun to watch because it's bad. But it's bad fun because it's bad. It's just like terribly written. It's like garbage dialogue. The relationships make no sense. The motivations make no sense. It's very soap opera-y in a way that I find like super distasteful. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And when they show like the last season on and they show what happened before, I'm like, oh, please stop.
Right, they did these things.
But then everything that I complain about, wait, Amanda's not seeing anything. No sound or picture. What?
Oh, man.
Okay. No one's hearing or seeing us. Fucking Twitch, man.
Section 31 is trying to keep us down.
This keeps happening to me on Twitch. Okay, let's kill the stream and try again.
That's not helpful.
Trying again. Can you see us? I can see us. It's working for me. Yay! JM can see us. Okay. Yes.
Yay! So it just needed to be...
So wait, hold on. Hold on. What's up, Jazz Fajitas? What's up, Andy? You can see and hear now. Oh man, I'm so bummed no one could see and hear us for that whole rousing discussion of Star Trek Discovery. So nobody heard or saw anything that we were saying? Well, it sounded like Amanda could hear us.
Okay. We'll be fine. It started off as a joke that we don't talk about anything else.
I know. We've been talking about Discovery.
That was like our time. We were just getting caught up.
That's us. I'll bet you that stream still exists. So when I post this on YouTube, I'll bet you I'll have it
bonus
to post
content.
the whole thing. Yeah. Holy shit, it's Annika! She's talking to you.
Hi, Annika!
Yeah, Annika's got that wrench because she works for Twitch. She's Squish Cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cute name.
Oh, so cute.
It's a Squish Cat.
Okay, so anyway, welcome to Doug Space 9. This is the first time we've done this on Twitch. I'm starting over. Fuck it. Why not? Hold on. Start over.
Ba 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 ba.
Doug Space 9. By Andy. Doug Space 9.
We started over in Andy.
The sound of an asteroid. Okay, Doug Space 9. Here we go. Have a good flight, Andy. I'll miss you so much. All right. So This is a show where we talk about every episode of Deep Space Nine.
And nothing else.
And nothing else. We're very on topic. Don't get us off topic. We're always on topic. You couldn't get us off topic if you tried. Anyway, we've been talking about Discovery because we're off topic.
Because it's new season.
Because the new season, I've been really enjoying it.
I told you. I knew you'd come around.
Is Amanda here? Is she back? I'll bet she's like refreshing.
She's gonna be crushed.
I'm gonna like.
Well, I don't know. Amanda may also like the new DS9. I mean, the new
Discovery. I'm actually gonna send her a message saying that we restarted the stream because if she's not here, it's not even real, you know. So you take over. You talk. Or just sing. That's fine.
Okay, so the Forsaken is where we first see Luoxana Troy on DS9. Thoughts?
Oh, you're doing a terrible job.
I know.
You vamp, bro. Come on. Squish Cat is hosting us. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You're rad. Okay, guys, we have big news. Okay, Amanda's back. Good. Amanda, I sent you a private message because I'm like, if Amanda's not here, it's all garbage. Are you ready for the reveal of like the exciting thing that we have going on right now?
All right.
Excuse me, do you mind
That's never happened before.
Saving the world?
What is that? What is that? Does that sound like Deep Space Nine?
5.1.
Boom, look at that! Look at that, it's Deep Space Nine! Look, it's Deep Space Nine! Are you instantly comforted by the beautiful underside of this glorious space station, or what?
Video and video.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we've got the episode up for the first time so we can actually look at clips and talk about it. It's gonna be fucking awesome. We're gonna dive into this episode, The Forsaken.
Yeah.
Why is this episode called The Forsaken? It makes no sense to me. I've been trying to figure that out. There's like no reason why this episode should be.
I did look at Memory Alpha while
you did? Okay,
while we were
good.
dicking around with other stuff. They were originally going to call it Only the Lonely.
Which is a much better title for this episode.
I think so. I don't know why The Forsaken, because it doesn't... Nobody was forsook. There was no forsook. No forsook. It's fine, though. I mean...
Is it fine? I don't know.
This episode is just sort of like a meh overall episode to me, anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
It's hard for me. Like this, it is a meh episode that I can't help but love because I love this show and I love Luoxana Troy.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm sick of stuck in elevator episodes.
Bottle episode. I mean,
it
specifically says that this was written as a budget-saving bottle episode that they wanted to have. The feeling I got was this was what if mini games was the whole game? You know what I mean? Like that. What if side quest was the whole game?
Was the game?
Yeah. That's what this episode is. It's just like there is no A story.
My band we got to one time, we got a review and they said that, like, you know that section between sections called the bridge, like between the verse and the chorus? This band is all bridge.
All bridge.
This episode is all bridge.
Yeah.
Except now that sounds like the bridge of the ship. And
right.
that
No.
doesn't make sense.
It's mini
analogy.
games. Like when you're playing Zelda and they're like, do you want to go race the horse around real quick? And
Right.
you're like, sure.
Or like the RC car racing in Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, guys. Doug got a Switch since the last time we've done an episode. How's your life now with the Switch?
It's a lot of Zelda.
Yeah?
I don't know why people buy other games. You just play Zelda forever.
You know, I got through about 240 hours of Zelda before I was like, I think I need to play another game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. I bought Skyrim so I didn't have to pay for parking at Target.
Wait,
and so
what?
That'll be my next game. Target, if you don't pay more than like... If you pay $10 or $20, if you spend $10 or $20 at Target, they comp your parking. So
you bought Skyrim.
Because I was there to buy a HDMI cable that was like $6. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to then pay whatever $10 for parking. So I'll go ahead and buy Skyrim.
Your logic is
There's not a lot
wonderful.
of stuff at Target that I wanted.
That makes no sense.
So
Target's
now,
awesome.
now I have like a shrink wrap Skyrim that I probably won't play for a year because I'll play Zelda forever.
I don't like realistic blood in games, so Skyrim's just not for me. But Skyrim is like the other big Zelda type thing.
That's why I got it, because I was like, what am I going to play? I can't play a Lego game.
You need to play Stardew Valley. We've talked about this.
Yeah, I'll try Stardew Valley.
You really need to play Stardew Valley. Tetris 99, it's free.
Okay.
It's really fucking fun. Go check it out.
You're
Anyway,
like a Tetris champion.
yes, Stardew Valley. That's what I'm saying. Annika, you play Stardew Valley? I didn't know that. I am a Tetris champion.
Yeah,
I've won
I saw your
twice.
thing.
I'm a 2-time champion. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'll try Stardew Valley. I downloaded. They have like a old style Scum interface point and click graphic adventure.
Oh, what's it called?
Timbervale.
Oh, Tinderwood?
Tinderwood, something like that. Yeah.
I was just watching a video today where he said that's like one of his favorite games on the Switch eShop.
Yeah,
I've never
it's like the
played
old,
point and
you know,
clicks.
guy Threepwood, whatever his name was, Guybrush Threepwood, the Monkey Island games, the LucasArts.
Yeah. He talks about. I haven't played those. He talks about those games, Monkey Island.
I love those games.
I played a game on PC when I was a kid called Dr. Quandary's Island.
Oh.
It was like a puzzle adventure game.
Yeah.
I missed the shit out of that game.
Yeah, so I think you would
good.
like this. That's right up your alley.
Anyway, we only talk about Star Trek on this show.
Only Star Trek.
So let's meet these Federation ambassadors that are hanging out with Dr. Bashir.
Oh, God, yeah.
There was something I could do, Ambassador.
Madam Ambassador.
Madam Ambassador.
This is Star Trek has now introduced us to a species that at least one other person refers to as being sexually repressed.
Yeah, totally.
That was a weird, like,
But apparently Bolians are sexually forward.
I don't know what Bolians are supposed to be. The whole idea that this is one of Star Trek's bigger flaws is alien species that are like all of a thing. Like Romulans are all evil.
Right.
Vulcans are all this way, you know.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Everyone's all a thing.
Absolutely. I both hate it and love it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little frustrating because it doesn't feel realistic, but I love it because it allows you to examine the different aspects of humanity by breaking it apart into different species.
Right.
Like logic versus passion is Vulcans and Romulans, you know?
Right.
So you get to kind of examine humanity through that lens.
Yeah.
And I kind of forgive the show for making monocultures and but I like it. Like I like mono planets. Like I love Hoth, like the ice planet. Yeah, I love that shit.
And they do to some degree. DS9 is one of the Star Treks that starts to move away from that and start to try to separate culture from biology, which shouldn't be like a...
Yeah, you know what's interesting though is that they also kind of clump humans together. Humans are like the species of intuition, you know?
Yeah.
And Klingons are like the warriors, but this show does a lot to like dive deeper into that, or Ferengi are greedy.
Right.
But as you kind of get to know more and more individuals from each species, they do have a lot of diversity.
Right.
And, you know, they do a good job of that. So I kind of buy it. Like, part of me kind of buys it. Vegeta says, I'd like to see a new Super Mario RPG. I totally agree. I loved...
as long as you could climb over everything. Now, like, any video game that won't let me climb on the walls is, like, bullshit. It's been... Every game I've ever played... I hate that... Zelda is the first game, the Breath of the Wild, that I've ever played that I feel like really got that. Like, yes, you should be able to climb on everything.
Do you have Rivali's Gale yet? Oh.
I don't know what that is.
Never mind.
Okay. Is it a game?
No, it's something you'll get in Zelda.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the way I play takes forever. Like, I'm barely...
I'm the same way.
I've been playing for, like, whatever, a month and a half, and I'm nowhere near... All I do is just solve side quests.
You should stream this, dude. I would love to watch you play that game. You should totally stream it. Amanda switched using your tablet. Oh, nice. You have a nice tablet you never use? Awesome. Oh, yeah, so new Super Mario RPG. I played Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga on Game Boy Advance, and it was really awesome.
Nice.
Really good. So let's get into... Right. Okay, so we meet all these ambassadors, and Bashir's having a rough time.
Right, and he's given shit duty because nobody likes to talk to ambassadors.
Yes, but then, of course, the Luoxana Troy shows up.
Right.
So let's get into this here. Her brooch has been stolen.
I'm very sorry. Have a nice day.
This is the moment.
You are dealing with the daughter of the fifth householder of the sacred chalice of Reeks, heir of the holy rings of Beta Zed.
I live for her reading out her full.
Okay, that's the thing, is like, I feel like...
Holder of the chalice of Reeks.
Okay, so this is Deanna Troy's mother from Star Trek The Next Generation. We've seen her a lot throughout the history of TNG, 7 years of that show. She comes on at least once, once a season, basically. So we've seen her about 7 times up till now. This is her last performance as Luoxana Troy in Star Trek. Isn't it?
No, she's on a few more times. Like, her and Odo almost get married.
What? Like, she comes back on Deep Space Nine?
Spoiler alert.
I completely forgot that.
There's a whole episode where, like, she's supposed to marry someone else, and then she's using Odo as, like, a fake out. They do, like, the naked wedding, I think. Or maybe I'm mixing up some TNG. But she definitely comes back again.
Okay. What you're saying reminds me of a TNG episode where she, like is trying to marry a bunch of different people, and or the other episode where they do the naked wedding on the Enterprise, and that's why her husband runs away in shame.
Right. No, so I may be mixing up the plots, but she comes back at least once, if not 2 more times on DS9.
Well, my point is that every time she comes in, she reads off her list of credentials every time.
It's like, great.
Holder of the sacred chalice of Reeks. Yeah, every time.
Daughter of the fifth house.
I will tell you that this is the only time that I can remember feeling like they should have left it out.
Really?
I felt like I didn't need it this time. And I felt like I feel like in her performance, she almost seems like she feels obligated to say it.
Right.
Yeah.
I was fine with it. I will say, overall, I felt this was one of my least favorite Lwaxana portrayals, because I think Star Trek generally has a problem with portraying women. Culture, on a broad level, has a hard time, especially portraying older women.
Yeah.
So I thought Lwaxana had always been an interesting character in TNG just for that sake, is that you had a recurring female character who wasn't, 28.
Yeah.
And a very sexually active
Yeah.
older woman character. But then in this episode, they make her like creepy in a way. Like she's super aggressive.
Yeah.
Towards Odo.
Let's. So this is a big thing I wanted to talk about in this episode. So Odo, like she's lost her brooch. Odo helps her find it.
Right.
Through
a little bit of racial profiling.
Yeah, and she like
He's
let's
straight
do
up
that
like
first.
empty your pockets. Why did you choose him? Oh, because he's this particular species.
Yeah. So he's literally looking for
Right.
anyone who might not be like. She can't read Ferengi,
can't read
so he's
Ferengi.
looking for anyone who might be like a race that is
Although,
related to Ferengi.
I
that
will
she
say
can't read.
that little space monster is the worst thief in the world.
Yeah.
One, as soon as a cop looks at him, he bolts.
He tries to run away.
Second, as soon as he's like, empty your pockets, he does. How about no? Get a warrant, you fucking shape-shifting piece of shit.
Yeah, totally.
Turians are distant relatives of the Ferengi.
No, and he's
It makes
cowering
sense
like
that since
Odo's
you're
probably
looking
gonna
for
smack
you
him
might
because he
not be able
will.
to read
Yeah, this is
sign
definitely
or
racial
either.
profiling.
Yeah, that's really bad.
But here's the thing: if
Also, this is super Star Trek. Yeah, racial profiling's wrong, but look, he was right to do it.
well, is it racial profiling if he's using his logic to deduce the fact that it has to be someone that she can't read because she doesn't sense guilt and she'd be able to because she's what's not empathic, that's
Telepathic?
Deanna. Telepathic, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's telepathic, so she should be able to read any guilt. She can't read guilt, so he assumes it must be someone she can't read. It makes sense that it would be someone who's either a Ferengi or a
that's-
related species. It makes sense. It's good.
But also, what if
deduction.
she left the brooch at home and then
Sure.
he's like, "Hey, you, empty your pockets,"
Yeah.
for no reason.
It does. It did
Just
feel
saying.
a little bit like racial profiling.
I feel like the Federation would have something to say about this.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we're in the space Wild West, so.
Yeah, but then like immediately after this, she's immediately attracted
Of
to
course.
Odo.
Oh yeah.
And what does she say
I
here?
know everything there is to know about your security, Chief.
Yeah.
Tell me everything you know about this man.
How do you feel about that Julian acting? Oh, here, let's just get a nice picture to pause on. Boom. Hold on, I want to see the station. There we go. Who's calling me?
Nobody good.
Is it the same
Just
person
local
who called
spam.
me before?
The thing, the robocalls now, they just always have like local
What,
numbers
what do you want from me, people? Leave me
to
alone.
buy
I'm busy.
something. Sign up for insurance.
So, there's this element of like Lwaxana comes on the show. Oh, I was just gonna say, Julian's trying to look like he's doing something, acting as the camera pans in to go to commercial. It's top notch. Top notch.
I gotta say, he's maybe not such a great actor.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
And also like something in the next episode with Cisco where he's like trying to pretend that he's like nervous and he's walking around like
Yeah.
he's just like doing something with his hands.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Ugh.
Yeah, so she always immediately like locks onto a man that she wants to have sex with.
Yeah,
I
it's
do
one
feel
of the
like
tropes of her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is fine. Like, hey,
Is it fine? I don't know.
Okay,
I can't tell.
I think
what do you
that-
guys think? Is that fine? There's some women in the chat. Let us know it. How do you feel about it?
I think it's reasonable to have a character on a show who is like, you know what I like? Fucking boning people. You know what I really like? Boning a type of person that I've never boned before. Like,
And you know what I like more than
species
that?
are you?
Boning a shapeshifter who can form a penis into any shape
She doesn't even
imaginable.
have any idea. She doesn't
Yeah.
know that there's like spatial misty cloud shapeshifting sex waiting for her. Were
Yeah.
she to go to that level.
Totally. Like
There's
some,
all kinds
some
of stuff.
cocoon style sex.
Yeah, she's just into the idea of like you're the only one of your kind, and I've never had sex with a shapeshifter.
Right.
I think that kind of voracious sexual appetite is fine. In this one in particular, they just portray her as being, I think, over the line aggressive.
Yeah.
When any reasonable sentient species could clearly see that Odo is uncomfortable with her physical advances.
Okay.
But she's like,
Right.
and that to me felt like a cheap shortcut of the writers because this is the flaws I will always go back to.
Well, let's look
of
at this
having
because-
not multi-episode arcs.
I'm going to skip over the first scene where They discover this probe, and like the ambassadors come to the bridge. Like some stuff happens that's mildly important. But I want to go to this scene here.
We'll jump around for whatever we're talking about.
Yeah, we can jump anywhere. Let's just watch this scene for a second.
Sure. Also, I love this costume, by the way.
She looks great.
This is, yeah.
Your heroism would never call your work tedious.
Can I turn this
We
up?
learned that on this station, you are the
And this is what I mean. This is the kind of thing
line
that, like,
between order and chaos.
normally
That's my job.
our culture is
Now,
adverse to
what
sexualizing
can I
an
do
older
for you?
woman in this way.
That's
you know?
true.
Extend
Showing
Yeah.
her she's like dressed, you know,
Only my heart.
in a very revealing way. She's being very flirtatious.
Is Odo your first or last name?
Yes.
Yes.
Then I can just call you,
Odo.
Yeah. See,
it has a certain miracle.
we're all fine here. She's just being a flirty holder of the
Oh,
chalice of reeks.
Okay,
it
so
Oh.
rolls off the tongue.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, you might want to get your
I
tits right up
have
there
a lot
against
of
me.
work to
That's
do.
fine. Yeah, touching me.
I understand you're a shapeshifter.
Cool, cool, cool.
That's correct.
I've never been with a shapeshifter.
Yeah, not a lot of people have. Except in the Gamma Quadrant.
I've heard that you're the only one of your kind.
She's the only one of her.
So far,
Right? Okay.
All the men I've known.
This is like
Shaped and molded and manipulated.
very flirty stuff.
Finally, I met a man who knows how to do it himself.
Okay. Whoa. Read the room,
I
Luoxana.
think it is. Excuse me, I've got to get to Oz.
And it's not that bad. But still,
but I have questions though.
that's
Okay.
right there. Is like had he not dipped out,
Yeah.
you know, was she gonna bend him all the way over until she got her kiss?
Okay, here's the thing. I watched this episode twice because we had to postpone the show, and I'd
Right.
watched everything for the first time, and then I got sick, and we had to postpone, so I had to watch it all again like a month later. And the first time I watched this, I was super uncomfortable with it because I felt very sure that she was kind of pushing him in a way that he was uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable with, right?
But the second time I watched it, I saw it from a different perspective. I was very stoned the second time. And what I took from it the second time was what I remember taking from it as a kid, which was Odo has no sexual experience. Odo has never had anyone show any sexual interest in him.
Right.
And he has not developed his sexuality at all.
Right.
This is like the first time that someone has really kind of approached him sexually.
Right.
And I think that the reason that he panics and runs away is because there's a part of him that's interested that he doesn't know how to approach.
Sure. Okay.
So I feel like in the room in that moment, like she is being a little bit aggressive,
Right.
And he is freaking out, and
Right.
she's not reading that,
Right.
But I feel like she can also, like, it's not made clear whether or not she can read his thoughts,
Well,
right?
see, yes, and here's the other thing: is that whether she can read his thoughts, she can at least read his body language.
Sure,
And
which is
I feel
panicked.
She's choosing to ignore it.
I agree, and
That's-
I think that's a little bit troubling.
That's the part.
But the second time I watched it, I felt more like I was agreeing with Cisco in that next scene where
Just
Cisco
go
says,
for
like,
it.
go for it, like, try it out, see what you think, you know?
Get that telepathic pussy.
Like, the second time I watched it, I felt a little better about it.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit more like she's being playful with him because maybe she can feel that he is interested, but he is nervous.
Yeah, it's.
But she's not respecting his nervousness.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's tricky.
It's a huge boundary crossing thing. And to be clear, I am
Yeah.
not mad at Luoxana, who is a
Is wonderful.
gifted, beautiful person.
It's
who
the
can do well.
writers.
It's the writers
Yeah.
who I just wanted to short circuit a flirtation with them, and then I think also just did broad stroke versions of like a horny older woman who's sexually active. Like I feel like this could have been done a little more tactfully and a little more like actually seductively sexy. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this episode is rife with missed opportunities.
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
Which is also one of the classic things of Star Trek. It's
oh
like,
my god.
Look at what we're
totally.
doing. We're heading right towards this. Okay. Never
Yeah,
mind.
totally. There's this interesting. I mean, I guess it's the B story. I feel like the A story is Luoxana and Odo, but it's hard to say.
No, this whole episode
It's all
is
B stories.
B
Okay.
and C stories.
So the other B story is that there's this probe that when they download the information, it kind of fucks up the computer.
Right.
And O'Brien talks about how it's like a lost puppy
That
that's
wants
gotten
attention.
that wants attention from
Right.
him specifically.
So it wants to break things so that he'll have to fix them.
Exactly. Yeah, like keeping him near the computer and all that.
Right.
And
My cats do that.
that's a whole thing where it's like there's a sentient computer program
Right.
that is like discovering a new life form.
Right.
That they eventually contain, like, spoiler alert for the end of the episode, they contain it in this, like, doghouse, basically, that's, like, kind of in the computer, that O'Brien's gonna keep him as, like, his Tamagotchi pet.
Right.
And then it's just dropped. And that is another thing. It's like, they discover this life form that O'Brien is gonna own, and then they never bring it up again.
Not only own a destructive life force, let's say childlike, but still destructive, that they're going to let live in their space station that is the only thing separating them from the vacuum of space.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Amanda
and
says, when
go.
this was written, the sensitivity to sexual harassment was much different.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, super true. And I mean...
and I'm only bringing it up because if this had been a gender swap thing, if it had been
That's
a
so
man,
true. If this had been a man, it would have been really uncomfortable.
Like Kira or, some sexually inexperienced woman on the show, and it was this, like, sexually aggressive older man, we would be, also holding it to task.
It's interesting because, let's try to imagine a parallel with swap genders. Let's imagine a woman of the same age of a man, because they're about the same age, it seems.
Right.
I mean, who knows? We don't know how old Odo is.
The ambassador.
Odo might be like 20 years old. We don't know.
The ambassador, the prim ambassador on this episode, as the target of some other person's sexual predilections.
Okay, let's say that's the case, and like because her species is sexually repressed, like she doesn't know
or
herself.
culturally,
sexually, whatever. So she doesn't know herself at all, and there's this guy kind of coming on to her and being pretty like forward,
right?
And she's like kind of getting nervous and running away,
right? I'd be skeeved out.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
probably. Okay, yeah.
And if we wanted to write the episode that way, we could tie it in to Bashir having to step up and clock the guy. A la the story Cisco told him of having to clock an ambassador who's getting too aggressive with
Cisco stopped an ambassador from raping somebody, it sounds like.
Well, yes. Yeah, I mean, they don't go...
that whole story was a little
They don't go
disturbing.
that far with it, but at least that's the long-term
like,
implication, is like he was being too aggressive with bringing someone to his quarters.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's jump to the next scene these two have together. It has my favorite line in the whole episode.
Okay, sure. Jump, space, nine. Jump.
I am not like you.
Luwak's on those wheels.
Here we go.
Hours, I turn into a liquid.
I can swim.
And now we're trapped in an elevator.
Also, I do like the open elevator view here, where they actually show the stuff.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that line. I think it's so funny.
I can swim.
I think that is hilarious. I love the idea that there's this guy who's super different.
Yeah.
And this woman who's just like, I'm into you. I don't care. Like, I think that there's an intentional subtext in this episode of like Odo is not really accepting of his full self because he's been isolated his whole life. So he's just kind of built, like, there's what he used to be, and instead of growing up, it's like what I chose to become.
Right.
And I think what he chose to become like does not include any sense of sexuality or any sense of companionship, and that is going to be explored throughout the 7 years of the show and through his relationship with Kira.
Yeah, because it's weird, because he also is super dismissive of it,
Yeah,
like,
he's just like, I don't need it. It's like,
I don't understand
flowers,
don't understand these
nonsense. Like, I don't need any of that shit. So yeah, I mean, I like the idea that there's this like strong, powerful woman who's like knows herself very well.
Right.
Who's like, I think you need this, and I'm here for you. You know, like, let's do it. Why not? And I do think that she's maybe a little too. I think it's obviously written by a man.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, is it? We should check that. It feels like it. But I do. There's elements of the storytelling that I like.
Yes.
As far as like developing Odo's character.
The Forsaken. Dun 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 dun. Doug reads Memory Alpha. Yeah, Don Carlos Dunway and Michael Pillar.
Yeah, so written by men.
Story by Jim Trombata.
I feel like if they could have gotten a woman in the writer's room, they could have really... Like, this same story with a woman's perspective could have been much more effective.
And you only have to make... Almost everything else that she does in this episode is totally fine and actually really in line with the Luwak-Sana character in general. It's just... And I don't want to say it's a minor thing, but it is enough of a jarring thing of her being, and it would be another thing if Luoxana was like, you know what, Luoxana, because that's another way you can do a character like this, is like, yeah, I push boundaries, and it is something that other people may find offensive, and it would be behavior that would be definitely called out in a man, but I am choosing to embody myself in this way. Like, there are, I know people that are that way.
Yeah, definitely.
That are like, you know, you're like, oh, I'm going to go to the show, and someone's like, oh, by the way, if so-and-so gets drunk, she gets super handsy, you know? Like, and it's in a way that's almost laughed off that you would not do with men, right? Like, because that's just the power dynamics of our culture. But that's nowhere near what they're doing with Luoxana.
Right.
You know?
And everyone, drunk consent is not consent.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
absolutely.
Never. Yeah, it's interesting. I really like her character. I feel like there's her last episode on TNG where, spoilers for TNG, where they talk about, spoilers, go away. The last episode that she's on in season 7 where they talk about her daughter who died before Deanna was born.
Right.
And you see her be like really kind of devastated and vulnerable.
Yeah.
I love that episode. It is so hard to watch because it's so like tragic and upsetting, but at the same time it kind of brings a sense of understanding to this character who's like really kind of built this persona of like strength and sexuality and she just takes charge of every situation, but she has this like core of trauma that she has completely buried and is not like looking at anymore at all. And then we see her again here, and she's a little different. And I think it's actually really well performed.
Yes.
I mean, so well performed. I wish it had been a little better written, because like she's a little different this time in a way that tracks with kind of reintegrating that trauma into her personhood.
Yes.
I really like that.
Yeah. Or it could just be that the writers chose to focus on this one aspect of her.
Yeah,
instead of her as a whole person.
I don't know. But yeah, so this brings us to the point where they get stuck in this turbo lift together.
Right.
And this makes me want to do like a research study on the history of elevator episodes where people get trapped in elevators and have to talk to each other.
You mean in TV in general?
Yeah, totally. Because it's happened in like every show.
Right, but that's the bottle episode. That's the thing. That's the...
Well, yeah, I mean like a bottle episode is like they don't leave the space station, but I'm talking about like specifically trapped in an elevator.
Or it's a basement...
Like what's another example of when this happens? Babylon 5, when what are their names? Londo and Jakar are trapped in an elevator together, and they. It's a great episode. You know, I mean, the episodes like this are usually great, where you get stuck with someone and you have to talk.
TNG, they have.
Oh yeah, thank you, TNG. Yeah, Disaster season 4, I think.
Yeah, season 4. Where
Picard with the kids.
With the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Right, in an elevator.
Yeah, totally.
That's another one. It's the same thing. It's all just like side projects. That's all anyone's doing.
Yeah, but that episode's fantastic.
I mean, the problems are a little bit more fun and to solve.
They took Data's head off, and it was great. Worf delivers a baby.
I just saw that recently, and
that episode is great.
And it made me think, like, how often does it come up, like, oh, by the way, like, I delivered your baby.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think it does come up on Deep Space Nine at some point, doesn't it?
I don't know. It'd be great.
Yeah, because he delivers Miles O'Brien's child.
Yeah.
And that happened. Everybody, take note. That happened. Okay, let's see.
Where are we at?
Here, I'm just gonna mute this, and we're just gonna like scroll through a little bit of what happens here. So we're dealing with this problem where the computer, they're trying to get them out of the turbo lift now, and the computer's fucking up. And then I love O'Brien talking about how the computer, the attitude of the computer has changed.
Right.
He's like, it's not arguing, it's not fighting with me.
Right.
Oh, and then he's like trying to fix it. He's like, well done, computer. It's so cute, like his relationship with the computer in this episode.
Yeah, it's also interesting because O'Brien is more of a gearhead versus like Dax, who is
more like a science.
Right.
Yeah.
But they do make O'Brien sort of like the computer guy in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love like his relationship with the computer just over the course of the show, and this was a really particularly good episode for it. And then like we have Luoxana and Odo in the elevator, and like she wants to talk and he's not comfortable. This is where it starts to get a little bit on the creepier side, where
really? See, I like.
Oh, this. I mean like on Odo's point of view, like Odo is just like, this relationship just feels creepy in general in this scene to me, where like she wants to talk and Odo's just like, oh God, is she talking to me still? I don't want to talk.
I understand this because I have both of these people at different times.
Okay, make it better for me.
He is a private man. This is like his worst nightmare. even if it wasn't Luoxana, just trapped in an elevator,
Just anyone.
probably anyone but Kira, is gonna drive him crazy.
Yeah.
On top of it, he knows that he's gonna enter melt phase,
Right.
in a few hours, and she is someone who is talking at him when he doesn't want to be talked
At him and not to him.
Right. So, but he's trying to be polite and nice about it. So he does eventually say, like, listen, you can talk. I am not going to respond.
Yeah.
Like, he sets a very clear boundary about it. And then she basically is like, I get it, but I'm going to have to keep talking. Otherwise, I'm going to have my thoughts in my head, and I don't want that,
Right.
So I can understand both perspectives, and there is a beauty of them actually verbalizing the boundaries of their interaction relationship they're going to have here in the elevator.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you. I feel like she's just like pushing him so hard, and he's like kind of earlier in the episode. I kind of like how he's nervously resisting,
right?
But now he comes to like a straight up like annoyed resisting.
Yeah.
Which feels a little different and feels like she's not picking up on signals, and it gets a little bit weirder.
See, I felt the exact opposite. I feel like in this case, they both explicitly communicated what they wanted from the other person.
Yeah.
And Luoxana specifically said, I can't do that, but this is what I can do.
Yeah.
So like that's like a negotiation. That's like a beautiful back and forth.
Okay, I'm with you. But then what she starts talking about is her experience with Damon Togg, which was earlier in TNG, where
I love it because now it's canonized that they doinked.
I know, that's the thing that really bothers me, is that like, so if you haven't seen this episode of TNG,
right?
Loxana and her daughter Deanna Troi are kidnapped, and Riker are kidnapped by Ferengi,
right?
And she uses like seduction on the daemon in charge of the Ferengi
seduction
vessel.
plus 100.
Yeah, to like kind of make a distraction to help them escape, and it's like she gives him like umox, you know, but it does not appear at all that they made love at all, or like made love, had sex, whatever.
It just seems like she was being touchy-feely.
Right, exactly. Right. But then in this episode, she straight up says like, I had sex with him. Like
the first time was for a reason.
Yeah, let's find that scene.
Well,
do you want to watch it?
I mean, I don't mind, but I'm just wondering how you're going to be able to find it without seeing the dialogue.
I think it's like right around here.
All right, best of luck.
Let's see. Get the audio back.
Perfectly real, and kind of
yeah, this is it.
In a way, he was so helpless. At first, it was totally a question of expediency when I made love with him. Oh, what are you looking at?
See, at first, it was totally a question of expediency.
Yeah, so she not only made love with him, but it seems like she enjoyed it and like has fond memories of this guy who kidnapped her, imprisoned her.
Right.
It's really weird. It doesn't track.
Okay. I had thought about this quite a bit because I had also just seen that other TNG episode. Yeah. And then
that's season 3 Menage a Troi, I think.
This
Why do I know this stuff?
Adds a weird wrinkle to this. No, that's because you're.
I can't remember what I did yesterday, but I can remember the season 3 Menage a Troi.
How'd you forget about the Klingon that appeared as a human in Troubles with Tribbles?
I remembered eventually. I was thinking of something else, obviously.
Discovery was too traumatic. You just wanted to like.
Oh no! Yeah, totally.
Nothing about this can be anywhere related to Star Trek canon.
Yeah, Roy Darvin,
except for this
I think.
centerpiece.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's not.
I'm a hypocrite, okay? I only want what I like to be canon. All right, I admit it.
No, that's fair.
You got me.
I call that a la canon.
You
pick and choose.
Paula, holy shit! What's up, Paula? It's so good to see you. Oh my god, I missed you. How are you?
Star Trek canon is like the Bible.
Welcome,
you can pick
Paula.
and choose the pieces that you want, but if you don't accept it all, you're going to space hell.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, I'm okay with space hell. It sounds cool. Yeah. So there's.
Okay. Let me get to. So I had been wrestling with this because I had the memory that she had been kidnapped.
Right.
And then the broad strokes of it. Ferengi kidnaps this woman.
Right.
And then they have sex. That is like.
That's now canon.
Yeah.
Very awkward.
Very
Don't
awkward.
Like it.
But
don't like it.
One way out of the woods of this is that it's a sexual. Yes, the Daemon is a terrible person, and it is a. There's nothing defendable in that, but she chooses this. She's she's choosing to go this route in order to get out of this problem.
She's using
It does
her
make
sexuality take control of the situation. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. But it does make it super dark. It makes it
so too dark for me.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with it. I feel like it was and it's not in the original episode. Like nowhere in the original. Like in
the original episode, they could have left it well enough alone.
Totally, because like she gives him some umaks.
Head, right.
Yeah, she just like rubs his head and shit, and like it's just not.
They've already established by this point.
Hey, Go Girl's here. What's up, Go Girl?
Hello.
I will not tell your boss. Don't worry.
And I'm
live tweeting to your boss right now. Your boss follows me.
Dear Go Girl boss.
It's Paula's boss.
Dear Paula's boss.
What if Go Girl was Paula's boss?
I don't know who any of these people are.
Paula would be in trouble right now.
Sorry.
You gotta know, man.
This is your job.
The cool peeps.
You're in charge of the stream. And the feed.
Yeah, you know what? I got it, man. I got it covered. So
yeah, it adds a dark layer that didn't need to be there, because at this point in DS9, they've also shown that just like umaks will get Quark to, forget stuff or to renegotiate deals not in his favor.
Right. But
so it is strange.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
That's like some writer was like, oh, you know what I want? I want to know that those two fucked.
I know, that's what bothers me. It's like, it feels like just retconning by some horny dude who like thinks it's funny.
Right.
And I mean, she delivers the line so well.
Yeah.
Like the way let's just like watch this one more time. Yeah.
You can do the reverse 10, don't forget that.
Oh yeah, nice. We'll do that.
At first, it was totally a question of expediency when I made love with him. Oh, what are you looking at?
Like that's just like acting genius. Like she's just like, it's like she's just thinking of things and saying them. It doesn't feel like dialogue that she's reading.
Yeah.
She's so good. And it's such a funny moment, and I remember being a kid and thinking it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And thinking, oh, they had sex, crazy. And like as an adult, I'm like, no, that's like
she was kidnapped.
That's like weird. It almost
Right.
feels like rapey in a way that. Like,
yeah, absolutely, because she's
me
being
super
held against her will, and then is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the only saving grace of it that it's not that he forced himself on her. That they're portraying it as like she had sexual agency and chose to do this.
Right.
But this other person put her in this position where that was the path out.
I feel like that's what they intended, but it doesn't work in this scenario, and it doesn't make sense with the character, and it just feels weird.
It's a lot of Star Trek stuff where they clearly don't think of a broader context for the stuff they're doing.
Yeah. Okay, so the ship, the space station continues to deteriorate, and then Bashir
wants to get petted.
Exactly, and Bashir is like working on trying to fix. What am I saying? Bashir is like trying to keep the ambassadors happy,
right?
And then this shit happens.
I'm reading a huge plasma surge in the habitat ring.
Here we go.
You tell Commander Sisko that I expect that probe briefing to be held on schedule. Lights or no lights.
I will surely pass that on, Ambassador.
Boom! How do we feel about Julian's explosion acting? Shall we see it again?
That probe briefing to be held on schedule.
Watch Julian.
Lights or no lights.
I will surely pass that on, Ambassador.
He does a lot of work right
the fire
there.
made my arm
I don't know if he's a good actor or not, but he's definitely working hard.
Yeah.
You know?
I think he's an okay actor, but he can't go too far afield. Like whenever
Radio Vantica.
The next one he gets possessed again, and he's a little bit better because he's just like lightly evil.
When is he possessed again?
Everyone's possessed in the next episode.
Oh yeah, Dramatis Personae. Yeah. No, he's pretty good in that.
Yeah, because again, they didn't make it broad.
You know who's weird in that though is Sisko.
Are we gonna just jump right into that now?
No, we're gonna get there the right way.
We've got 4 hours of content to fill.
I don't know why, but we're gonna do it. Was that fire coming at him or a cloud of gnats in his hair? I'll bet you that the director like told him like an explosion, and he's just like, whoa, man. And like, okay, an explosion with bugs. And that's how they got this performance. Axon, yo, Justin, what's up, man? Dude, good to see you. What's weird to me is that Sisko keeps that weird clock. That clock is fucking awesome, and I want it.
Yeah,
the best thing to ever happen in season 1 is that Sisko built that clock while under duress.
The fact that
we'll talk about this.
I hope that you can. I haven't looked. There should be a way to buy a kit of that clock.
I want it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful clock.
And it's there. It's like on his desk or in his quarters or something for the rest of the show. It's
I have to
like,
imagine because in the real world, somebody spent some fucking time on that thing.
It's glorious.
Yeah.
It's like It's the best thing. Yeah, somebody Google it. I'm busy. I'm handling a lot right now. I'm stretching the limits of my multitasking.
We're still talking about the next one.
I do love how these ambassadors are like awful to Julian the whole episode, but then when they're saved in the end,
well, it's
such a nice. Let's just jump to that because we're talking about it.
Because this one does an off-screen resolution. You only see them in the hallway where Julian is futilely attempting to save them, where he's like, the panel.
Oh wait, we have to watch that first. You're right, the manual thing, because this shows that Julian is completely ineffectual. I think that's actually just right now. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, I think it comes up in a second.
Explosion in corridor H12A guest quarters.
The computers
Things are blowing up all over the station.
Suppression systems are coming online.
Hold on.
I'm reading 4 light forms in that
I'll
corridor.
fix this.
Major, you're with me.
I order you to fix this.
Crew down there. We'll need
Am I doing a good job of
here.
guessing?
All right, here we go.
Firebugs!
Julian trying to open this thing.
I gotta do the panel.
The panel's like barely attached.
He's holding it on, so it doesn't fall off.
I can't do it. And then later when Cisco comes by and like opens the one from the outside, he's just like bloop and opens it immediately. So I guess this one is jammed, or Bashir has like absolutely no upper body strength. But I love how that panel's just like barely on there, and they like, let's just keep it. It's TV. We'll keep that take. So he takes these guys and let's jump. We're gonna come back to the Odo thing because we're gonna end up talking about that for a while. But let's jump to the resolution of this here.
Command.
Wait, hold on. I gotta go back. We gotta get them coming in. I think it's before
All
this.
systems are back online. Can you get in?
Were they laser?
Here we go. Here we go. Boom, baby! Easy! Easy! Not a problem! What is he holding? It's like it's like a
fire extinguisher,
spackle gun or something. It's like really cool looking. Oh, fire extinguisher.
Or were those the lasers they cut the door?
I think she has a fire extinguisher and he has a space laser.
A caulking gun.
I think you're right. I think it's I think she has a fire extinguisher. It's pretty cool.
Or a med kit.
We'd better advise Starfleet.
I think I saw like a flame logo on the side. Okay, so this part is is so satisfying. They come out.
Right.
And guys, let me know if the volume is mixed well and everything. I've never tried this before with the episode on screen.
Every time I watch this, I think he just went in there and sexed all these ambassadors up.
No.
He's like, you know what?
Don't ruin it.
We're all gonna die. But what if we do some quick bone?
I'm gonna put him in for a commendation.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like, Julian is the best. He's amazing. I think he fixed my back. I love this man.
Yeah, they like went in there. They've been awful to him all episode, and now they love him because he saved their lives. No. Justin was thinking that too. You men are disgusting. Men are gross.
No, this is like,
I'm gross. I feel gross.
Plane's gonna crash. You're like, all right, who wants to do it?
But okay, there's two things in this episode that are the most interesting thing that happened in the episode, and neither of them are actually shown. One is like what happened in that little corridor for the last however long they've been stuck in there. No.
Julian, I love you. Thank you.
And two is what happens to the computer program that Miles O'Brien keeps as his little Tamagotchi pet.
Yeah, well, that one is just one that they stick with forever as an unanswered thing. Like DS9 till the end of time, has some.
There's been
alien interference.
There's been like a half dozen like story things so far this season that were dropped that were like really important that we need to look at again.
Yeah, but that's also, I mean, again,
like what happened to Ibudan's clone? Like seriously, what happened to Ibudan's clone?
He's got
you know what I'm saying?
Somewhere.
By the way, on Stardew Valley, I had to get some new animals. All three of these ambassadors are now running around as pigs on my farm.
That's
Taxco and the other two, I don't remember their names. What happens in the Jeffries tube stays in the Jeffries tube. Gross. Okay, so the thing that everyone remembers about this episode is
Luoxana catching him in her dress.
Yeah, Luox. I'm gonna turn the volume off again. We're just gonna watch a little bit of this scene.
It's okay.
So Luoxana has taken her hair off to make Odo comfortable with looking at her while he's like disintegrating
with his mud mask.
Oh! Hold on. Oh my God, I can actually put this on the screen.
What happened? I don't know what's going on right now.
Oh, are you ready for this? Back to safety? MyStarTrekCrap.com. I want to see it. No. Advanced. Proceed. Unsafe. We're going in. We're going in. Cisco's clock.
Oh.
Cisco's clock. Look, Paula just sent us this.
Wow.
Oh, it's just drawings?
But still. Obtained at an auction, so someone bought the clock.
Oh, these are the designs. These are the original designs, aren't they?
This production art for Cisco's
production art. Oh, fucking
clock.
cool. Paula, good find.
Thank you, Paula.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Look at this. To Du Bois from Rick Steinbach, DS9. We got to talk about this in the next episode. Oh.
That's beautiful.
And just stick out a bit so you can turn disc with your finger. So cool. Okay, we're gonna come back to this when we get to the clock. Okay. This is great having the monitor capture. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's very handy.
Odo turns to
what
mud.
what a still screen right there. Okay, so he starts to turn to mud, and here's the thing: is that she has her wig in her hands that she could catch him in, but instead she catches him in her dress.
Yeah.
In a fashion that makes no sense. Like the physics of what just happened
Yeah.
are like garbage.
Yes.
I can't tell what's happening. How is that possible? How did that happen?
Right.
It's like he's falling to the ground and then she catches him in something that's not underneath him fully.
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I
don't get it.
Yeah. And listen, I am with you.
But she's holding a wig that she could catch him in. In my memory, she caught him in a wig.
Oh no!
Like that's how I remembered this
the wig
happening.
would be too porous. He would just goop out the sides.
Well, it's a dress. Why is that better? And how,
It's
why is it too porous? Maybe I
polyester.
imagine that when Odo is a liquid, he's like a jello-ish goop
Yeah,
that
he's like
could hold together
It's
inside
somewhat
of a
viscous.
wig.
Right. This dress is made of the same stuff their
Like,
uniforms are made
She's
of.
holding the wig.
It's water resistant.
Hold him in the wig.
No, the wig's
It
not
kind of
really
drives me a little crazy, and the fact that you aren't acknowledging the logic of this
It's also driving you
is also
crazy.
driving me crazy. Okay, we watch this. They get out.
The problem there was they just filmed Majel Barrett like stand here with your dress like that. And they're like, all right, we're just gonna make this work.
And then make this, oh, you're in my dress face. It's just not a, it's a moment that like okay, I mean, I'm being a little harsh because the feeling of that moment is like, you be vulnerable and I will protect you.
Right.
And that's a beautiful sentiment
Right.
and it's kind of a wonderful thing, but like, they didn't need to do the effect the way they did it. They did more than they needed to, I think.
This is when I feel like they wrote themselves into a corner. They're like,
yeah.
What was she gonna have a purse with her? Or is she gonna have had like a giant
or
bucket
maybe
of chicken with her?
maybe
while
she's
in the-
wearing like a wig or something that's like basically a bucket that she could put him in.
I'd have called bullshit on the wig.
No, put him in the wig, man.
Do you
Put him
have
in the
any
wigs. Yes, I have. I wear wigs all the time. Do you not know me?
You ever try and pour Jello into him though?
Dude,
it does not work.
I have like a wig like in this room. Where did I put it? I have a wig nearby. I'm gonna pull a wig out and we're gonna fucking look at
We're
it.
doing a wig pause here.
Doug, bam! I know you don't know how to do that. Where's my fucking wig?
Somebody's yelling, Jello in the wig.
I
Aaron.
think my wig is upstairs.
Maxim.
I feel like I should go upstairs and get the wig.
Why don't you do it during the break?
We'll do it during the break. We're gonna have wig talk after the break, folks. I'm literally popping off about this wig right now. Okay.
Because I think a reasonable argument can be made that her dress could actually hold something because it's got like a layer in it where it's like their uniforms.
You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna mix up some oatmeal. We're gonna get a dress. We're gonna get a wig. We're gonna see which one holds the most oatmeal. Okay? We're gonna do an
This is
experiment.
a new project.
Yeah. And I think that it'll fit. I think that they will work just as well. I think that is what it is. Have you noticed there's a giant Darth Vader back there?
Oh no,
Have you seen that? Can you see it? Isn't that creepy?
Ooh.
Do you see it? It's huge. It's right there. It's like this tall. Behind that speaker.
Oh, now I can. It's way far back.
Yeah.
I was looking on your desk.
Isn't
I was
that
like,
exciting?
what's he talking about?
Yeah. I never know what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is this nice scene that they have together here. Let's watch this and see.
Let's watch together.
Let's see like how we feel about the resolution of this relationship.
No, that
I can
wasn't
sum up their
exactly what you had
resolution.
in mind.
I'll
when you
be
picked
back.
When it comes to picnics, the only thing that really matters is the company.
Your sensitivity and discretion are appreciated.
Discretion. We all know you turn into a bucket of goo, you idiot.
Next time you see me, I'll give you a lot more to appreciate.
Yeah, see? She's like, I'm coming back for that shape-shifting D.
You're bringing back memories of her coming back. I forgot about that.
They couldn't have more
What's
explicit.
he thinking in that moment? What a woman.
I'm gonna get to see boobs.
No.
No, I think he is, yes, he's thinking like, you know what? She annoyed me, but I do like her.
I feel like I think that there's a part of him that's attracted to her the whole time.
Yeah.
And that he's never really felt that and doesn't know how to...
Sure, it's like
what it is or how to feel it.
Being a 15-year-old.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's like a teenager sexually, but like a grown man.
Right. They never do
size-wise.
talk about that, like how old, like how many years has passed since they found him as a drop of goo out of the wormhole.
I remember, like, we meet the scientist eventually who raised him.
Right, because that's where he gets his hair from.
His hairstyle is exactly the same, yeah. I like how he talks about how his hair is, in this episode, he talks about, like, you know, Loxana asks...
Is it real?
Dr. Mora, yeah. Asks, like, is your hair real? He's like, it's real in that it is me and a part of me. Yeah.
I can make individual strands of hair, but I can't make my face not look like a lump of dough.
Yeah, but I can't make a nose. Okay, so this computer program that's been ruining the ship. Let's see what happens with that here at the very end. I'm gonna skip forward. Oh, never mind. We're good.
I didn't.
He adopted it.
Adopted? Well, I was able to get our friend out of the main command pathways and into a sub-program.
You're suggesting we leave it in there?
I don't see why not. It's happy, it's not bothering us
Dax is like, I definitely see why not.
It's just another new life form visiting the station.
I'll take
She
care
said
of it.
sarcastically.
Make sure it gets enough attention and all.
Keep it off the furniture.
That's a good line.
It's a good line, but it's also like a really ridiculous solution.
He's so happy.
He is so happy.
I've got a new pet. And he's so happy about
this
it.
This is the things where you start to see like, all right, if you let's start picking at things a little bit.
Sure.
Clearly,
that is literally what we're here for. Let's take this thing that we love and pick it apart until it makes no sense anymore.
Clearly, if DS9 is sending accurate reports back to Starfleet Command, they are either not getting read closely or they are being read by someone who don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because if you wrote back and you're like, oh, yeah, we found this unknown probe from an unknown species in the Gamma Quadrant, jam-packed with, like, a computer intelligence of some kind. It came into our system and it started breaking a bunch of shit, and then eventually we decided to just let it live in the space station computer.
Yeah. It's basically now, like, this
Boing,
Ascension thing is,
boing,
like...
red flag.
The pet of our chief engineer. No big deal. NBD.
NBD, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody should have done a follow-up of, like, a couple of questions.
Yeah, totally.
What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, starting with what's wrong with you people. Man. Well, let's rate this episode.
Oh, yeah.
I love having the episode
I
up.
can tell, yeah.
I really like it. How do you feel about it?
I like it, too, yeah. I think our danger is to deep dive too much into it.
Yeah.
But I don't know Twitch. Twitch may be happy we just played this and didn't talk.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about this is that I think it still falls within fair use, and I can still post this on YouTube.
Yeah.
But we'll find out when I do.
You're also real good at spotting through and finding stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of skills, man.
You do. I can't do it. I often don't want to go back and, like, grab a screenshot of something, but I can't find them.
Well, good. Did YouTube flag me? No. But we've never tried this before, so...
We'll find out.
So we're going to find out. Okay, back to our old view.
Yeah. Voting.
Yeah. Boop, 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 boop. Pull up the Google Docs spreadsheet. Okay, folks, here we go. I have to update my spreadsheet here. Jumple Bashkin. Mulian O'Shear. Trandy. That's a good one. Our spreadsheet is hilarious.
It's a pretty good spreadsheet.
Here, if anyone wants to be in on this spreadsheet, I'm going to post it in the chat. There you go. Okay, now let's update it. Season 1, episode 16.
Forsaken.
The Forsaken. So why the fuck is it called The Forsaken? That does not make sense. Doesn't make sense.
It really doesn't.
And then episode 16, Dramatis Personae. We're gonna get to that. Okay. Douglas Gale.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Doug Space Nine.
Doug Space Nine. Doug Space Nine.
Oh look, people are looking. Fun.
Nice.
Anonymous Bat and Anonymous Platypus are checking this out. Okay, what rating do you give this? How many bars of gold pressed latinum do you give this episode out of 10?
Oh boy, this one's probably like a 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah. I want it to be better, but there's too much weak spots.
Oh, chat. I have to give you sorry, I forgot the straw poll. Chat's gonna vote too.
Right.
Sorry, keep talking while I do this. Just vamp, Doug.
I don't vamp.
You have something to talk about this time.
I don't have a Twitch channel.
You should be able to do this.
I'm no good
at this, Doug.
I wanted this classic Star Trek complaint. I wanted this episode to be better, but it just wasn't. It had promise, it had good intentions, but it kind of fell apart. I definitely knocked at least a half a point, if not a whole and a half point off because of the less ideal handling of Luoxana. That kind of bothered me.
Yeah.
Where I think if I came into this episode without knowing TNG history, and it was just like, here's this character, I still might have been a little like squeaked out by her, but I might not have been as harsh judging the episode.
Yeah.
But I don't tend to judge these things. I think we've had a discussion about this. I don't necessarily solely judge them isolated as a standalone. I do judge them in the context of Star Trek in general, you know?
Right.
And as someone who is very free with the mutatable nature of canon, there are certain
more than
aspects
me, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there are certain aspects of characterization that I do have a stronger affinity for. In particular, a character like Luoxana, you know, where that change was a bridge too far. Like, this episode, I think, easily had in it a 7.5, but made mistakes enough to drop down to 6.5.
Okay.
It would have taken a deep rewrite to get this up to an 8.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like 6.5 is about right, but I feel like I'm gonna dock it a little bit for missed opportunities.
Yeah.
I really like this episode. I really like watching it, and literally with every episode of Deep Space Nine, as soon as I put it on the screen and the space station pops up, and I hear boom 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 boom, like any of that opening music, like station log, I'm just like immediately.
Stardate.
My immediate reaction is just like
Yeah.
you know, I just love it. It just
If I
fills
could
me
fault
with joy.
Discovery for anything, it's that they don't present their opening monologues as personal logs.
They do it like once a season, and it makes me so happy.
Yeah.
And then season 2, they started with like the space, the Final Frontier thing, and I was instantly on board. And I hated season 1, and like instantly had me with that.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like station log, you know, personal log.
It just feels so good.
I wish that's my one complaint for Discovery.
Yeah.
I wish they would preference.
Doug has one complaint for Discovery. I love the show. I mean, this show is so good, and my rating is not like TV in general. It's Deep Space Nine. You know? How does this show relate to itself?
Right.
And like I really like this episode a lot. You get a lot of Odo self-discovery. Luoxana's performance is fantastic, but the writing really falls short to me in this one because I hate that thing about Luoxana making love to the Ferengi. That really bothers me.
Right.
It like really sticks out as like it's like a weirdly like sexually exploitive situation played for laughs, and I don't like that.
Yeah, it's bad enough that especially first early appearance of Luoxana, her character itself is kind of played for laughs. Like, isn't it funny that this older woman still wants to get some space dick, you know?
Yeah,
so after having kind of fixed her character or fleshed it out, this does feel regressive. Like, the 2 steps forward and 1 big step back.
And as much as I enjoy what happens with the ambassadors at the end, the whole storyline with the ambassadors being so like intractable and ornery it's literally like the most obvious thing you could do.
Yeah.
It's like ambassadors come, Julian has to watch out for them. Oh, let's make them like sticks in the mud.
Right,
you know?
all different kinds of dicks.
Right, totally. And then they all love him in the end because he saves their life. It's satisfying thematically, and it feels good when you get there.
Right.
But it's also kind of like bottom of the barrel ideas.
Yeah.
And I want more from that. And then even if they'd done that, but then shown those people trapped in that Jeffries tube, or whatever they're called on a Cardassian station,
John Reese tubes,
like
gold tube.
Ducat's tubes.
Ducats.
I wanted to see so badly, and I feel like the episode presented a bunch of ideas that were interesting, but didn't show me any of what I wanted to see, and then doesn't explain. Literally the very next episode, the same thing's gonna happen where like some weird alien thing gets on the station, but instead of infecting the computer, it infects the people.
Yeah.
Literally one episode away from this. So I feel like there's some like real shortcomings.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna give this a. I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
Yeah.
That's weird because I really like this episode.
Tough but fair.
I'm trying to be tough with my ratings, but I really like this episode. Okay, so everyone in chat, click that straw poll link to vote, and everyone can vote on the rating for this episode. She is a woman old enough to have been chased around a desk or two at the office, probably been sexually harassed before, and you can tap into that for a character. Yeah, she's interesting where that, like, I think it's because she can tell what you're thinking. Like, she takes the reins of situations quickly.
Well, I can't tell. Are they talking about
Luoxana?
No, or Majel Barrett herself as an actor?
Oh.
Because there is a differentiation.
Oh, I think you're right. I think she's saying that about Majel Barrett is tapping into that for the character.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's something to consider is, like, what is Majel Barrett's experience?
Yeah. How about being on a Star Trek where someone's like, I'm not used to seeing broads on here?
Well, I mean, she is Star Trek royalty. She is the wife of the creator. Like, people
who also
loved her on the set.
Is the horniest horn dog in space.
Gene Roddenberry?
Oh my god.
Or Gene Roddenberries, as you like to call him.
Roddenberries, yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about that, like his ideas for the Ferengi.
Which ideas?
That they have giant space dicks.
Wait, we talked about giant space
dicks? Did we talk about
dicks?
that? We'll have to talk about that sometime.
I feel like I'd remember. What can it be now?
Gene Roddenberry's like proposal for the Ferengi included describing that they were massively well endowed.
Really?
And had like thongs, and other people had to go, oh honey, no. We're not gonna do that.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And then I think it was Deanna Troy that he wanted to have her have like 6 breasts.
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, like, also look at TOS, like that.
Right. Yeah, Paul, you're right. She was Nurse Chapel in the original series.
Yeah.
Rebecca Romaine is Nurse Chapel.
No,
not Nurse Chapel, sorry, number one.
Yeah.
She was also number 1 in the original pilot.
Right.
And, dude, seeing Pike, fleshing out Pike has been awesome. And the guy playing him is awesome.
So good.
So good.
So good.
I feel like the characterization of Pike is somewhere between Pike and Kirk. He's like Captain Perk.
Yeah. He's a well done version of a classic 60s era, like straight Christian heterosexual white cis male in space. Like, this is I'm the no bullshit captain.
He feels
but
so
not
60s.
In a way that's like
that's not abrasive.
They're not abrasive. Yeah.
It's
like a magic trick.
What they tried to do in season 1 with like Harry Mudd and like bringing in some of the feel of the original series to this modern thing. And like shit the bed with it. They are nailing right now.
Yeah.
With Captain Pike.
They had to find their sea legs.
Nailing it.
Yeah.
It is fucking awesome. Yeah. Like to bring that weird wonk from the original series.
I'm excited to see
into
what
Discovery.
Like a season 3 captain's
working.
Gonna be.
It's cool.
You know, like
I think they're gonna have like a different captain every year.
Yeah. How fun would that be?
That's where those space whips come from. Exactly. Okay, chat. What did you rate this episode? Let's see. We got a 5s and 6.
Oh, all right.
We got to do the math here.
I can do that real
Has
quick.
everybody voted that wants to vote?
5.3.
5.3. So yeah, chat is right in line with me.
Yeah.
And you're high as always.
I'm high. Oh yeah. Speaking of, that break's coming up soon.
That is coming up soon. I mean, I always got weed in my pocket.
Yeah.
You know that about me. Okay, let's talk about our favorite character in this episode.
Yeah, for me, the favorite character, of course, is
well, we gotta hold on. We gotta elect.
Oh, right.
Nominate people.
Forget about Strupple. It's a favorite character.
Favorite character. What am I saying?
Favorite.
Okay,
character.
so Luoxana.
Odo.
We gotta put
Bashir.
Fine. O'Brien. Anybody else nominated for favorite character?
Blue Ambassador.
I mean, I don't think any of the ambassadors are gonna win. I feel like we can leave them off.
Okay, how about the computer puppy?
That's pretty good.
No one else did anything in this episode.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, you did put O'Brien. All right, so that's good enough.
Okay, chat here. Pile goo. If you want to vote for a pile of goo, vote for Odo because he is the pile of goo.
All pile of goo votes go to Odo.
Okay, Doug.
Yeah, Luoxana. Daughter of the fifth house.
Luoxana is your favorite character in
Holder
this
of the
episode?
sacred child of Reeks.
Okay.
Heir to the something of Betas. Yeah.
Heir to the holy rings of Betazed.
There it is, yeah. Yeah, because she's like one of the most central characters in this, in the episode that doesn't have so much necessarily going on, you know. And it's a weak favorite because it's really like, well, the field to me drops off real sharply after this. The only other reasonable choice would be Odo, and
obviously the correct answer is O'Brien. O'Brien is my favorite character in this episode because he's so excited about the computer. He's like, oh, well done, computer. It's so adorable.
All right, that's fair.
I love O'Brien in this episode. Why isn't it picking up? Huh, usually it autofills.
Yeah, interesting. Because he's never won before.
Oh, he's won from me like several times. Well, how did I write him differently? I just wrote O'Brien. Okay. Well, I'll fix that later. Yeah, we're gonna have to pull some numbers off this spreadsheet because next week or 2 weeks from now is gonna be the season finale of season 1.
Right.
Which is very exciting. Okay, chat.
Oh, DS9 season 1 only goes to 18 episodes?
19, I think.
19.
Yeah.
You know what's fascinating to me is that we're here at what, episode 16, 17?
Uh-huh.
We're now, per episode count, like, what is it, probably episode 3 of Discovery.
Yeah.
So if we're just doing episode count, map to map, it's really interesting because I feel like if you step back, you're going to realize, like, ugh, I did not like DS9 in a level, in the same way I also did not like Discovery. Think of what comes next with DS9, where it's, you know, we're not even...
It's not a bad point.
We get seasons until Worf shows up.
Yeah, there's something I was thinking about with that we'll talk about in the next episode relating to Cisco and his character development. You don't remember enough of the series to vote? Well, based off of what you saw today, you are welcome to vote on your favorite character in this episode, because it's just episode by episode. Okay, so favorite character, let's look at the results. Luoxana with all of the votes.
Yep.
Wow. Okay,
Unanimous.
chat's going Luoxana.
Carry the day.
And then best performance. Best performance. Who are we going to nominate? Obviously, we're nominating
same people.
Luoxana.
Luoxana. Odo.
Bashir.
O'Brien.
Best explosion acting. Best performance.
Cisco.
Anyone else you guys want to nominate?
Oh, should we put other? I was thinking about this.
Other.
Where people can vote other, and then we can get clarification.
If other wins, then we ask them who it is.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Otherwise, we don't give a shit.
Yeah, totally.
If you can't muster support for your...
Okay, folks, there you go. Vote on your best performance for this episode. Doug, what do you say?
For me, it's René Auberjonois.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, I love Luoxana. I do think that Majel Barrett is Star Trek royalty. I don't think she's that great of an actor.
Really?
I really don't.
I am falling on the other side of the fence on this one.
I love her character, and I mean, I adore her character. But there's just... I don't know. Maybe I'll sing a different tune when I watch some more Luoxana coming up. But there's always something about Majel Barrett's acting that feels not quite. There's there's just a level missing for me.
I completely disagree, and she's actually my vote for best performance in this episode.
Interesting.
Like this, we talked about like the subtlety with which she delivered that line about the Ferengi. I really don't like what they made her say, but the way she says it is so good.
Yeah.
And she like walks on screen and just like takes the scene.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
She's like just a force on screen as this character.
Yeah.
And you know, I really liked her as Nurse Chapel and as #1 in the original series, and she shows range with that because she's so different. You know. I think she's a fucking awesome actress, and she definitely for me has the best performance in this episode.
Yeah, that's fair.
Majel Barrett for me. And then chat, what do you say? Oh, Paula says, "To Shatner for you, Doug."
To Shatner. Too much Shatner? Who's to Shatner for me?
Who's to Shatner? Let us know, Paula. Okay, looking at the results. Wow, O'Brien. O'Brien wins best performance.
It's got to be actor. Is Majel Barrett to Shatner?
Oh, is Majel Barrett too Shatner?
Maybe. I'm guessing. Well, here I'm trying to guess.
Totally.
I'm trying to tie what we were talking about to the comments.
Why is this not autofilling? Wait, no, his name is Colm Meaney.
That fills.
Great. Yeah, that fills. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Well, we've done it. 1 episode down, 1 to go. As always, we're going to take a nice long break, so...
Oh, do you want to pop up the...
Stretch your legs.
Episode meme for this one?
Oh, yeah, I didn't download those yet.
Or do you want to get them on the break? And then
Let's do it now.
Okay. I don't know how things work.
So, yeah, Doug makes...
I'm not good
Doug is not good
at Twitch streaming.
Doug is not good at Twitch stuff. Is this the one or the other one?
The other one.
Okay. I'm not reading it yet.
Okay.
I will see this when you see this, chat. Okay.
I make a meme for each of the episodes.
Yes.
I try my hardest to make it contextual for the episode when possible, so it's not just random, and to use screenshots from the episode, but sometimes I cheat.
How do you cheat at making a meme?
Where you just like take a screenshot that's not from the episode we watched. So it's just a DS9 meme.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Where is this it? This is it. Ready for bed.
You ready for bed, yeah.
That's too big.
Shrink that shit.
What do we got?
Yeah, that's good.
Me ready for bed. Smoke one weed. Outline a 9-part sci-fi fantasy radio play. Let's solve the Voynich manuscript tonight. Past mistakes that must be dwelled on for a few hours.
Not hitting you?
I don't get it.
This is me, ready for bed.
Uh-huh.
And then that's Julian.
Oh, that's
representing
Julian.
Smoke One Weed.
Smoke one weed.
And then what did Smoke One Weed bring up?
Oh.
Those things. And then that's my face now. When it's clear, we are not going to bed because we are super baked. And we're like, you know what? I'll bet I could solve
I'm with you.
The Voynich manuscript tonight.
I don't know what the Voynich manuscript. This one's over my head, though.
Oh. Well, the manuscript, that's like a... But the other stuff is reasonable. It's basically like...
You've managed to go over my head, which is really not that hard.
Smoke pot, and then get like... You know what? I'm wondering what about Bulgarian history, you know? It'll start off with me looking up something like...
Amanda gets it. It's me that's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Paula is clarifying. That is what she meant. Is that her performance is too Shatner for you.
Not quite, but she's right in the same ballpark.
She is. That's interesting. I've never thought about that, but she totally is. I really like that. All right, you guys, we're going to take a break. Doug needs a smoke. He smokes American Spirits, and they're slow, so we'll be back in 10. I'm going to get a wig. I'm gonna get some fresh tea.
Some oatmeal.
We're gonna do some wig talk. Let's see. I'm gonna leave you with Cowboy Data. And the next episodes to watch for the next episode of Doug Space 9 in 2 weeks is gonna be Duet and In the Hands of the Prophets. Duet is, by my memory, the absolute best episode of this season. And one of the best episodes of Deep Space Nine, so fucking watch it. And then In the Hands of the Prophets, I don't remember at all what happens in that. But it's the season finale of Season 1, so that's exciting. If you want to subscribe to the channel, those are your badges down below and your emotes. And then, of course, all my patrons are listed up there. All your support, super, super appreciated. You guys are fucking rad. We'll be back in a few.
Love y'all! Yeah, isn't it kind of...
We're back.
Oh.
We're back. And I found a wig. Okay. I mean...
Yeah.
So, okay. So here's the thing. It's like... There's like a porous thing. But then there's like all of this hair underneath. So, I mean, it's like... Yeah, it would definitely like leak with
through, right.
water.
Right.
It would like definitely leak with water, but...
Probably Odo goo.
But I feel like Odo goo...
It's gonna like
would have just as much a chance to be okay.
It's gonna seep through.
Yeah, but a shirt's gonna fucking leak just as much as...
Yeah, but they're like Starfleet uniforms.
She was wearing a dress.
Yeah, but it's got to be made by the same material.
No.
Or at least, listen.
No, you're grasping.
A little bit.
No. Okay, I feel like if a dress would work, a wig would work. Because I don't think that he's as thin as liquid. I think he says I turn into a liquid.
Right.
But I think what he means is I turn into a goo. It's a goo. It's like silly putty, but
right.
It's like somewhere between like water and silly putty, I think.
Right.
And
I'm
feel
willing
like,
to concede that if
I feel like this wig
if
could
a dress
hold
could
it.
work, a wig could
Go
work.
Girl is siding with me.
You're fired.
Let's just hear from people in chat. Would Odo have been better off in a wig or in a dress? I'm gonna wait till they answer.
What if he needed more room? What if the dress and the volume?
Some
just
spillage?
Too much? Yeah, like what we didn't see is he gooped into the wig and then it's like, oh, overflow. So she had to drop the wig real quick and...
Let's just read what chat says. Dress. Dress. Fuck you guys! It's the wig! It's the wig! Come on!
This has been Wig Talk with Jesse and Doug.
Look, I'm just imagining like dress made no sense. Right. So we got 2 for dress, and then me and Go Girl. So 3 for dress,
right,
and 2 for wig. The wigs have it.
No, it's like politics in the 1700s again.
Yeah.
It's the Whigs versus the Tories.
It is not a dress. It is a wig. It is a wig. I'm just gonna wear this now.
Yeah. Well, now that I know this, I'll start
back.
wearing funny wigs.
Yeah. We should just do this in uniform. Okay. Are you guys ready to move on to episode 17? Yeah, right. 17. Dramatis Personae. What a weird episode.
A remake of the last episode.
Yeah.
Like, what if the last episode, but people instead of computers?
Yeah, totally. So, yeah.
So many questions.
Let's just pop on the beginning and see how this one starts. Because I don't remember what the captain's log is. Are you ready? We can beam over to inside the space station.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Ready? That's the beaming noise. There we go. Okay, how's this start?
Captain's log.
No captain's log.
Yeah. Come in. Oh, right. This starts with,
I just received word
now her turn to be like,
yeah.
You know what? I'm prejudging these people.
Yeah, so there's these people that are, if you put a dress on your head, does it become a wig? Look, Justin is just trying to, like, create harmony within our community.
Yes.
That's good.
And yes, it does.
No. So, no, it does not.
It's either a hat or a wig.
I will not stop fighting about whether or not a dress can be a wig. I have to put this down. I have to be okay with, like, knowing I'm right and just letting it go.
It belongs in a towel.
It becomes a towel.
It becomes a towel.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, dress on your head could be a turban. Turbans are hats, though.
That checks out. What are we talking about?
How this episode starts.
Okay, so Kira's really upset because there's this species that is...
The Valerans.
Valerans, is that right? They're running Ruppin's grade dolomite during the occupation to the Cardassians. So they are an enemy of Bajor, basically, and they want to dock at the station, and she's really upset about it. That whole subplot that goes kind of throughout the episode does not really tie into the plot, just a little bit.
Well, it does, though. It
does.
It? Yes, because I at first was like, what? But this second rewatch, I realized, like, oh, it's integral. Because it sets them against each other. You're right?
Sure.
Before they get possessed...
Right, there
Cisco
has to be
is
something for them to fight about that is Bajor related.
Right,
which
because,
would make her say, we need him out, so get a new commander in who we can control.
Right, yeah. Because, the general gist of the episode is that eventually their minds are all poisoned by something that causes them to act out a centuries-old scenario.
Yeah.
But through the lens of their current situation. They're not like... there have been other episodes, I think in Star Trek has done this plot, where you basically become the other long deceased people, and then you're actually doing their things and speaking their things.
Right.
Where this is not. This is
right.
You're just taking the flavor of it. Yeah. The outline.
Which is kind of cool. Like the idea that there's this like telepathic imprint of conflict that, when imprinted on our cast, it develops into a extension of that, which is a new conflict based off of the actual situation, and also clock building.
Yes. Well, because what I was thinking about this is that the character that Sisko inhabits must have been the leader of this particular group of people that are long dead,
right.
and he had an obsession with clocks, and he was this volatile leader.
Sure.
And
yeah.
O'Brien's character in the original story was the like obsequious sort of defender, or the not obsequious, but like the power behind the throne that was really looking to take his own thing, and then Kira was the rebellion or the paranoid rebel leader.
So they just fall into those roles in this scenario with Bajor and all that.
So they're taking
I like that.
their obsessions and their peculiarities.
Yeah, so like the premise of this is that they get infected by this thing, and then they just go a little bit crazy towards the end of the episode, and they're not really themselves anymore. They're all like high drama Shakespearean acting coming into play as they're like, I will not deal with that, like all this crazy shit.
Everyone gets to dial it up to 11.
Dude, Avery Brooks goes up to 30.
Oh, yeah.
He really goes off the chain.
It's great.
So the premise of this is really fun and gives the actors a chance to kind of stretch their muscles or whatever.
Yep.
But the execution of it for me is where it's like a little disappointing, because it really takes a while to build to that.
Yeah.
And it's immediately obvious that something is wrong with Jadzia. Like, let's jump to that. So they find the probe.
Right.
Oh no, it's not a probe. It's
they beam a Klingon.
They beam a Klingon on board, and let's get his beam in, because it's pretty cool.
Oh, this is the first
Klingon
time.
like comes through the wormhole. There was a Klingon ship that wasn't due back yet, and he comes through in a shuttle.
Ship blows up.
And and his ship is about to explode, and he like beams over. Let's see that. Right here. Oh yeah, nailed it.
Mr. O'Brien.
Something's interfering with the rematerialization process.
I love this.
Lock onto with our transporter signal. Try boosting the annular containment field.
Actually, I need to back up, because as he beams off, let's talk about the logistics of this.
The ship just as it explodes.
Right.
He beams off before it explodes.
Right.
So he just beamed off.
He'd already beamed, yeah.
And now they're picking up his signal.
Right.
Must have beamed off the
A little bit of a delay there.
So he beamed off to nowhere.
He's in space, just in the buffer.
So apparently, like, his
Mr. O'Brien.
signal can just go into space, and O'Brien can pick it up. That doesn't make sense.
This is what I'm... Oh, I did that. I rewound it for you. I'm going to rewind it.
Oh, shit. Trying to pause. Keep rewinding.
I was trying to pause. Oh, I had it for a second. Oh, the reason there's a delay is that so his ship's about to explode. The Klingon hits the emergency beam out button.
Okay.
So that he's going to get beamed out, and then the beam signal comes to DS9, and their computer is negotiating. They're like, "Hey, I got this Klingon thing I want to beam in," and the computer's like, "Well, you're definitely not going to beam them to ops. I'll beam you to the brig or maybe to sickbay." And then the beam signal's no,
maybe.
I definitely want to be beamed to ops. And so there's
the only way that's possible is if DS9 does not have shields up all the time. It probably doesn't, actually.
It doesn't, right? Because we've talked about this, why don't they always have shields up?
Right,
it's
and
just
they don't.
Power and expense.
Yeah, they always have to put shields up in an emergency, so I guess they wouldn't have their shields up.
Well,
so that does make sense that he could beam to their, maybe they have an open beam system or something.
Well, yeah, I'm sarcastically explaining
but I'm buying it.
Two things. One, why is there a huge delay between the ship exploding without them cutting in a way that it implies a time shift?
Yeah.
No, the ship has exploded, and then we sit around and wait for several beats before the beam, which is instantaneous transportation,
right?
By definition, shows up in ops.
But what you're saying is that his transporter signal went into the buffer of DS9.
Well,
and you have to accept it or deny it.
Basically,
maybe.
Yeah. And I'm
will you accept email from Klingon? It is Klingon. It is the Klingon.
Unknown sender.
Yeah.
He got sorted to one spam filter.
This is the Klingons go to the spam folder for the transporter.
Right, the transporter spam filter. Because, one, it doesn't make any sense that there's a long delay. Two, it does not make any sense that any rando can beam to ops.
Right.
That's insane.
Right.
That is tactically insane.
But I choose to accept it, because why the fuck not?
Right.
So, okay, so he beams on.
I'm ready to transporter signal.
Oh yeah, this is my next favorite thing coming. Annular containment field.
I love how he
Mr. O'Brien.
beams the beam signal on.
Yeah, exactly.
Something's interfering with the rematerialization
But it doesn't make
process.
sense.
Of course it
Lock
doesn't.
onto it with our transporter signal.
But I like
Try
it.
boosting the annular containment field.
I'm already there.
Try boosting
You
the annular
did that
containment
exactly
field.
wrong.
No. I'm doing something on purpose.
Oh, okay, never mind. I apologize. I thought you were trying to pause.
That's good enough. This is a Star Trek first, the double beam.
The double beam.
This is where they've beamed material.
Yeah, he locked on to beamed material.
Or
This Klingon
he's
should.
beaming the transport signal. This
Klingon should come out of the transporter looking like goo. He should look like Odo.
It's Odo.
Like right before he needs to regenerate.
He should look like the oatmeal version of Odo.
He should look like Vogue.
We didn't do mushroom ratings on the last episode.
Jermaine, what's up, man?
Which is fine.
Let's mushroom rate it real quick.
It's low, like 4 or 5. It's nothing.
I think that it's a 12 because I think that the idea that you have a wig and you could beam or not beam, what am I saying? You have a wig in your hands and you could like put your friend who's turning to liquid in your wig, but you choose to catch him in your dress.
I'll give
That's
you this.
a 12.
Well, no, this is why we're probably up to a 7 because it's always whenever Odo's mass mysteriously disappears.
Right.
Whenever
Right.
probably just charitably 180-pound Odo is now light enough for someone to like hold in their dress.
Right.
Without sagging.
It's
That's
a 12.
crazy.
Dude. Yeah, it's a 12. Okay.
So this here,
yeah, now we can talk about this.
double Star Trek beam is
Double beam
off the mushroom scale. That's nuts.
This is off the mushroom
transporters
scale.
are already a hard thing to grasp.
Right.
But now that they can beam while being beamed, why doesn't this come up where they're like, someone's trying to beam onto our ship? Well, beam their beam into space. Oh, they've got a backup beam.
Right.
It should just be this escalating beam technology.
Yeah. Justin asks, "What is the mushroom scale?" The mushroom scale is
how you.
Yeah, this was your thing.
This is how you judge the hard sci-fi versus space magic of Star Trek.
Because
on
the
a scale
mycelial
of,
network is utter nonsense space magic. It's like does not fit into the universe or make sense at all.
Or it is very much in line with Star Trek because, as we can see, many Star Trek episodes are off the mushroom scale.
Right.
But it is named because of the Discovery's mycelial network.
But for some reason, Odo is the barometer of the mushroom scale because his.
Well, for you.
For you, you've said before.
No, Q is my.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of Q.
Yeah. Odo is just a frequent violator of the mushroom scale, like when he turns into glass.
Yes.
He breaks.
And also, when he's in her dress, where's his communicator?
Oh yeah, that was.
I don't know. So a litmus test of ridiculousness, exactly, Justin. Yeah.
And trying to quantify it, and it's sort of a hokey scale where it's like numbers up until you get past like 7 or 8, and then we just start doing infinite or 13 or.
Yeah. Jermaine, that's a good point. I can add an uptime command. I don't have it yet. Sorry, I said yeah, but I did not hear the last thing you said.
I don't know what that
I got
means.
distracted.
Oh, I'm going into more details than needed on the mushroom scale.
Why wouldn't futuristic, wealthy clothing be waterproof?
Thank you. I feel like.
Well, why wouldn't futuristic wigs be waterproof?
It would be. Well, because the wig is hair. My point is that the wig itself, the nature of the wig is individual strands of hair.
Yeah, but
you'd have to decide to put.
But look, like there's also like a mesh inside,
Yeah,
and
this
is
why,
like a shit wig that I bought from a.
She's
using like a high quality wig. It's probably just as like porous as her dress, probably.
But you need it to breathe.
Yeah, but.
This is why I'm willing to compromise.
All right, here's the thing.
The same material that you would use in the dress.
Go Girl and I are going to leave and start our own podcast, all right?
Splinter.
Yeah. Fuck this. I'm out.
So double beaming.
Good luck, Doug. Good luck. Vamp, Doug.
Ba, 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 ba. All right.
You got nothing.
I got nothing.
You got dead air. All right. I'm back. I'm back because I walked away and I heard dead air. And I'm like, I can't stand for this.
Next time you're like, Vamp, I'm just going to do this.
Vamp is just going to be code for do nothing.
You leave and I'll just do... And then someday we'll have thousands of people just watching me sit silently.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
That's now my new life goal. All right, let's watch this guy die.
Yeah. Ugh. Thank you. Double beaming is...
That double beam.
It's as good as a skeletal.
It inflamed my hemorrhoids. Severe hemorrhoid
prosthesis.
inflammation, you know? Wait for it.
Victory.
And he's dead.
And then now...
Blue your beams.
It's a airborne virus of some kind then? Because now they're infected?
Uh-oh. Let's pause on... What do we want to pause on? Let's pause on Klingon. No, let's pause on Wormhole. I've lost control, you guys.
You're getting... This was, to me, the danger of this, is where you get too...
Yeah, it's happening. I'm just gonna fucking...
Ask around the station.
Ask around the station. That's what I'm gonna do.
No, this is a good... These are great
perfect.
pauses because you get
That's
funny
good.
facial expressions.
Yeah, totally.
So this also brings up the issue... Not the issue, but the point of... The character Jadzia is inhabiting, or is inhabiting her.
Oh yeah, someone
is
who's
just
like
like
not
a
very
total
intelligent.
fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah, she like immediately loses all of her intelligence.
Right, she's just like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, that
And-
kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
So
she
what-
just like became like simple for
What
some
I
reason.
what I took it to be is, could be like some like older person who is just like, I just want to tell war stories, you know.
Maybe.
I've working for the state, you get someone in a meeting where you're like, we're going to meet about this thing. So it's like, oh boy, I remember when this system first came online. And like half the meeting is that dude going through all of these old, does anyone in here remember Carol? Remember when Carol used to work here?
Yeah, I mean, let's look at this moment that happens pretty quickly here, I think. I think it's at the end of this scene. Yeah, it's right here.
Lieutenant,
Yes.
you coming?
Yes. I'm sorry. Never mind.
Like, she's obviously something has happened. Like, she's acting totally different than normal.
So this brings up a point that I have constantly had about Star Trek, is given the realities of the universe based on, like, say 90s Trek alone. So at this point in time in their history, people should be hypersensitive to anyone acting even a little bit off.
That's exactly what I was
But
thinking.
they just let
They
it
ignore
slide.
And then you get a lot of Odo, like, watching people do weird things and then going,
Odo gets a pass because Odo has minimal experience with Federation and you know, like, space magic bullshit. The Federation itself, part of being the Academy, should be fucking with their minds. Like, as simulation. Like, you should be in class, and your teacher should slowly go insane in front of the classroom.
You should be able to say, this is what it looks like when an alien virus gets inside of a person and changes their personality.
Literally,
because it happens all the time.
anything happens.
Like, it shouldn't take Picard, like, leading sing-song stuff in 10 Forward to realize that he's been replaced and he's in jail on
But
another
everyone's
planet.
like, this is odd,
Is it
except for the fact that
mutiny?
it happens 7
Constantly.
times a year,
Yeah.
every year.
It keeps happening over and over again.
Right, like if I was running the Academy, I would say like, okay, I would be in charge of weird shit.
Yeah.
I would be the mushroom professor. Where, okay, so today what's going to happen is when they go into their class, we've installed a holodeck in their class, so they open the door, and immediately when you open the door, it's onto like a fire planet. You just open the door and you're like, oh my god.
It's kind of like Wesley's
They do the one test.
Yeah.
Right. But the test is more like bad things happen. I want tests for like, no, not bad things happen. Fucking weird things happen.
Yeah.
Crazy weird things happen.
Yeah, I
People's personalities change for no reason.
And as an audience member, you know immediately what's going on because you've seen Star Trek before, and it's like
you're
this
more
happens all the
familiar
time.
with the reality of their world than they are.
Totally, yeah, and that's frustrating. Like that's my frustration with the first half of this episode. Like when everyone's lost it, I enjoy myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Kira, like the seeds of discord between Kira and Cisco are planted, and Cisco's
She's
acting
being
a little bit
paranoid.
weird. But I love that Quark is not acting that strange.
Well, he's not affected.
Yeah, he's not affected at all. But then this happens. Then this happens to Odo.
Tremble. Their exact words.
I'm a little early.
Odo intimidates the witness.
There it is.
Oh.
Wait for it. Wait for it. And loaves of bread come out of his face. And then Odo passes out, and then, okay, look. Skip forward. He's passed out. He's passed out in sickbay.
And he's still
still his shape. He's still his shape. Why does that make sense? He should be a puddle of goo in a wig. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, and he like wakes up and he's like, "What's wrong? Why are you upset? Am I okay?" It doesn't make sense.
Well, and what's funny about this is Bashir's literally doing nothing.
Yeah.
And he knows that it's nothing.
He's like, "What's wrong with me? I don't know.
I don't know. It was actually kind of funny. I did enjoy this scene because Bashir, he's a goo. There's no life signs. I mean, there's no like biometric like heartbeats and things like that that you could necessarily see.
He wants to like pull him through his scanner.
I just want I want to pour you through this thing.
I'm like, are my hands my hands?
Why am I not goo? Oh,
yeah.
Lazy writing this time.
Am I in the same shape? I guess this is his home shape though. Like he is a changeling, but he has a home shape.
Yeah, it's a pile of goo that he has to turn into every 18 hours.
And if they changed uniform, he would probably show up in this one accidentally every day. Because it's like, oh, I forgot. It would change my fucking uniform. We gotta look at... My favorite thing about this episode is that every time Odo leaves a room, he does this, like, over and over. He's, like, on his way out,
I'd love to see the
and he stops to look at someone.
Another time, perhaps.
Like, wait for it.
Oh, you were saying he's Columboing?
There it is!
Yeah.
There it is! He does it like over and over, and it cracks me up.
Yeah, they're signaling to the audience.
Yeah.
There's something weird happening here.
Yeah, totally. It is so funny. It like, I really, really love it. Yeah, you get like, you start to get people put in different places. Like you get O'Brien and Dax on the shuttlecraft.
Right.
And that's when I started thinking, oh my god, this is like if Survivor were Deep Space Nine.
Right, because it's
like
all alliances.
Who are they going to vote out? Yeah. All alliances, like whose side are you on? Without getting into any specifics.
Right.
And it just kind of, like it's this feeling overtakes everyone that they need to like get into sides.
Right,
yeah.
but it's smart because if you were slowly building alliances, you don't want to tip your hand and then have the other person go back to who they truly are aligned with and let them know. So I did like that escalation. I did think that was handled well.
I do too. I think that the lack of specificity in the end kind of hurt this episode because you get a lot of time of people being like something's wrong with them. We know that. We know it's going somewhere, but the show has not acknowledged it yet.
Right.
For too long for me, and it just starts to feel a little like ridiculous. Let's look to the next time. Oh, okay. I want to find another Odo leaving a room because they crack me up. Oh yeah, this scene where Jadzia.
Oh right, because it's just like
it's
dopey possessed Jadzia.
On DS9, I must be living correctly to be so blessed.
And then Quark is like being extra
extra creepy.
Ladies.
I swear this is Mirror Universe Kira. It's like
I was gonna raise this point is that this episode is like an excuse to do a Mirror Universe thing. That's the entire purpose of this episode is to do this sort of like everyone as outside of their box characters.
Yeah.
And she is 100% the Intendant throughout this.
The Intendant, that's the word I could remember.
Right now, she's only possessed. Kira is only sort of sexualizing her manipulation.
But she definitely is.
But she definitely is.
There.
But as the Intendant, as someone who lives that life to their fullest, 100%.
I wonder if like the idea for the Intendant came from this episode and watching her perform this.
Yeah, could be.
Let's watch this real quick.
Sure.
You know what they say.
And you mean have me talk over the entire time?
Sure.
First, or put the left foot first into the bathtub.
What does that mean?
Be careful
I
when you
understand. But what I really meant was...
Don't make a step if you're gonna fall.
Are you happy? That's not a question I get asked very often.
Oh, but it should be. In my opinion, you are the most valuable officer on the station.
They keep making Jadzia play dumb.
Yes.
It's weird.
Yeah.
That drink looks so good, though. That is the most awkward moment in this entire episode. They stare at each other for so long.
Because she's being flirty.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
For Quark.
It's like a straight 5 or 6 seconds where they're just staring at each other.
It's a hard
awkwardly.
stare.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to win over the dopey version of Jadzia.
I mean, we're like almost halfway through the episode. Okay, here's her like right up on Jadzia's
this
neck here.
Right.
Jadzia, listen to me.
This she hasn't thrown Quark yet, right?
Rid of Cisco.
I don't think so.
One way or the other.
See, now she's like serious.
Don't force me to get rid of you as well.
Uh-oh, Quark overheard.
Also, this is another example of like they're overdoing it as far as like Quark gasping.
Would you like to join?
I feel like he'd keep his shit together, but I get it. It's shocking to hear it from Kira.
Nothing. Nothing at all.
That's a good stunt double.
And that made me wonder right there, was it implied that her strength has increased? Because she's leaning over a counter and lifting Quark up, and then tossing him.
Maybe he doesn't weigh very much.
That's still a lot.
Maybe Ferenginar has low gravity, and he's got brittle bones. Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is like kind of fun, but
yeah,
the real fun of this episode, I think, is Odo and Quark kind of being the straight men inside of this insanity, and Odo playing along is really fun, and like
I feel like
acknowledging that something weird is happening. Like this, I'm gonna turn the sound off and put on this next scene. This whole scene,
he has a neck brace.
Where he's definitely not injured. Like he definitely
he's hamming it up.
Like when he walks out of here at the end and like chases Odo and screams.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, this whole scene, like here, let me turn the sound on for a second. He's like gasping.
Right.
I couldn't tell her.
It's like his neck injury makes talking hard.
Like, is he filing charges with the future, with the idea that eventually he's going to file a lawsuit, so he has to get the charges down first?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He wants compensation. Justin says, do other people watch Star Trek? Spot the points where someone somewhere started their slash fiction. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I was thinking about that with something the other day, and I don't remember what it was.
I'd ship it.
Yeah, ship all of it. Ship it all. Let's see how Odo
Let the prophet sort it out.
leaves the room at the end of this scene. And let's skip forward. Whoa!
Right, see, now he's...
Oh, wait, I went too far. Okay.
He's back to moving fine.
I suppose you are.
I like how Odo leaves rooms.
It's time I had a talk with Cisco. Odo, wait!
No look back for Quark, I think.
Because Quark's not acting out of character.
Yeah.
Wait! Odo! Odo! I want satisfaction!
Right. Now it's clear that he's faking it.
Yeah, totally.
But
he
also
like adjusts it like it's not even needed.
It's also... I mean, I get it, but it's like, that's hokey Star Trek jokes. Like, oh, he's got a neck brace. Like the classic sign of fake whiplash, you know?
Okay. Odo just talked to O'Brien in Cisco's office.
Right.
He's leaving. Let's see if he looks back.
Where they acted paranoid and weird.
Yeah! Yeah! That's a good one! That's a good one! I love how he does that. It's such a great character choice.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna leave a room. What are they thinking as I'm leaving the room? You know? It's
I'm
so good.
skeptical that what just happened
okay.
on the surface makes sense.
So he goes to talk to Cisco, and Cisco like doesn't give a shit about what he's saying and is working on this thing. And this moment is so good.
Fascinating, isn't it?
Well,
what is it?
Yeah, back up.
Yeah.
Okay, we're there.
That's what he's there for.
What do you think?
I love it.
What is it?
What is it? A clock. Fascinating, isn't it?
What's funny to me, though, is Odo reacts as though he had just said a second head or a bomb.
Well, I think because he's like, oh God, you're crazy. He's like, you've
maybe
lost
it's
your
maybe
mind.
it's the way he said it. A clock.
Is that good acting or bad? Chat, we need some votes here. Is that good or bad acting? Because I can't tell.
I still think it's good. I think that Avery Brooks makes choices, and I think he makes really bold choices, and I like it. I think it works. I definitely understand how other people look at it and go, oh God, no, that's bad acting.
Yeah.
I would say to someone that thinks it's bad acting on his part, to me, it's bad. You don't like his choices. You think he's making bad choices. I still think acting, he is doing the thing that he's trying to do.
Right.
It's whether you like what he did or not.
Yeah,
Where,
I kind of like it. You know?
It's like he made a bad choice when he was
right,
but he also didn't do it well. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
There's a difference. Like, you're an actor, you can choose a thing, and I think Sisko chose a thing. I think Avery Brooks chose a thing, and then also implemented well. I think other people say, oh, they don't like the choice that he made, but I think those people have to acknowledge that he still acted it well. Or I'm wrong, and there's people like he makes bad choices and implements them poorly.
Like, okay, if his choice is like I'm playing a person who's like
insane,
then let's see what we think.
Right. It's
so good.
It's beautiful.
It's just so good.
He's got
the shake in his neck. Watch what happens to his jaw.
And it's not just his neck.
What is it?
Yeah, there's like a he has the
recoils.
smallest of crazy person orgasms.
Yes.
At that moment.
One more. Give me one more.
What is it?
And he just looks so proud, and Odo's like, "Oh shit!"
I think that's great. I think it's
I'm sold. The thing with Avery Brooks is that like, I can see how a lot of his choices would rub people the wrong way.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of with you that he's like making choices and then just sticking them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I respect that, and I like it. And I have a theory about Benjamin Sisko from watching these last 2 episodes that I think has been present all season that I did not pick up on until recently, is that he's depressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that he's like in a depression that he's been in since his wife died.
Right.
Because in the first episode, you see him being like jazzed and like excited when he's in that vision with his wife on that planet. It's the only time you see him like up.
Right.
And the rest of the time he's just like ho-hum, like, oh, I have to do this job, and I have to talk to these ambassadors. You know, he's always that way. And today I realized like he's depressed and going through the motions.
Yeah.
And then when you think about that in the arc of the whole show and like his relationship to the prophets and like what he's gonna do and sacrifice, and then the war that's coming, and the person he becomes, I think like he never becomes if he hadn't lost his wife and gone through this depression.
Right. Unfortunately. Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Right.
And I think it's just really interesting and kind of, I think, very much acted out the whole season long that he's like in this depression. And I never picked that up before.
Sisko as a character and Avery Brooks' choices acting him involve a lot of passion in a way that I don't think the other commander or the other captains in previous shows were shown as necessarily being passionate people. Where that kind of makes him in some ways volatile.
Yes, totally.
And also there's an undercurrent of Sisko, the sadness, the depression. I think an argument could be made that at this point he really is only living for duty and for his son.
Yeah,
like those are the two things.
I agree.
That like if something happened to Jake, or if he wasn't this, or if Jake didn't exist, or if Jake died in that accident, I feel like he would have committed suicide or have been like just dropped out of Starfleet entirely. It's
Yeah. Amanda says, just think about how many times Brooks practiced that clock line in front of a mirror.
Once, because that dude fucking nailed it in one.
A clock! Did I do it? Was it good?
There's that extra...
Yeah.
This is a little shudder. Later on, he does a thing that Vincent D'Onofrio, he's playing Kingpin on Daredevil, right? Yeah. They both do this thing.
That's the thing I was doing before. Yeah. We're gonna see that.
Avery Brooks does it to a huge degree, and if you watch the most recent season of Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful because he's a character who is very in control. Everything about him is I've got full control of all of these things.
Yeah.
But he's also, I think, a churn of misdirected passion and anger, the Kingpin.
Yeah.
And then the hands are the way it's like coming out. Like that's like an escape valve.
Nervous energy coming out.
Yeah, because it's just like random, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting choice.
Don't bring up Daredevil and Break Your Heart again. Yeah, it was just canceled, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're chopping up
everything's canceled now, I think.
Yeah, I feel like Marvel's at a point now where they're going to have to go the route that DC did.
They're going to go to the Disney
streaming app. Okay, yeah.
But, I mean, they might restart some of these shows over on the Disney app. Honestly, I think in the long run, this is going to be a good thing because they're doing that anthology show where they're bringing in like Loki and other people.
Nice.
And they're going to make these Star Wars shows that sound awesome.
Yeah.
Like The Mandalorian sounds super cool. Oh, wait, quick Star Trek thing though. What do you think about the announcement that Michelle Yeoh is going to have a Section 31 show? Yeah? You're excited about that?
Oh, you mean there's going to be new Star Trek? Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm like, it's frustrating for me because like I love Captain Georgiou and
Yes.
like Emperor Georgiou. It's okay.
I like her. I have mixed feelings about kind of what they're doing with her.
Yeah.
But it's also like, yeah, Star Trek. I mean, Gul Dukat is a good example of that. Of like, let's make someone who's like Space Hitler to a degree.
Right.
But then also like, let's also make him sympathetic.
On Discovery, is it common knowledge that Section 31 exists?
Oh, so this is
that's been kind of bothering me.
This is a polarizing issue in groups that I've seen, especially groups where there's a large contingent of people who just want to, like what I do, I feel like is a fun version of picking apart things because I love it.
Yeah,
These are
I'm
people
with you,
who are
yeah.
like, I want to find every little flaw in Discovery and then go post it online
to prove
and then
them
tell
wrong.
people that this is why it's not Star Trek.
Right.
You know, or to say like, well, this makes no sense, so this is garbage, so I can't like it. Which is like, oh my god, dude, it's fucking Star Trek. You don't know Star Trek,
right? And honestly, like, I don't like that attitude. I don't like that. Like the whole idea that The Last Jedi is not Star Wars.
Oh my god! Of course, it's
like,
Star Wars.
Right. I mean, the prequels.
Prequels are Star Wars.
The prequels
even
broke
if you don't
Star
like
Wars, so it's already broken. You know. And honest, like our show, I feel like is us celebrating a thing we love, and sometimes mocking
Warts
it
and all.
because it's beautiful and hilarious,
Right.
and a clock, you know, like that's funny, like that's hilarious,
And
but we love it, like we love it. We honestly love this shit,
and I think it's fun to try to reconcile things.
I do too.
So
It's like a mind game to try to fit Odo into a dress when obviously you should be in a wig. obviously, admit it.
Okay, fine, wig.
Yes, wig.
I'll give you a wig win.
Thank you. And now I can fucking focus on the episode at hand.
But what I don't like is when people pick a thing that is easily explainable. Not even like, oh, well, let me get into some like deep Trek lore. It's like surface level explainable and are like, but what the fuck about this? And Section 31 for a lot of people is this like, it's embarrassingly easy to explain the complaint. So one of the common complaints you see online, people are posting are like, what is this secret organization? And then they're just flashing around their black comm badges. Way to keep a secret, asshole. Like, do you not know how things work like in the FBI? Like, they carry badges. But they're not going to show to everybody, you know?
Right, but like we know the FBI exists as a society.
We do.
The society of Starfleet does not know that Section 31 exists.
Well,
it's
so
like a need to know only thing.
This is what we've now established is that at this point in time, in TOS era, let's just say Discovery TOS era, Section 31 is more generally known. It's casually known where somebody can show a black badge and someone else is like, oh yeah, those are the spooks. Like, we know what's going on here.
But in Deep Space Nine,
they're a covert operation.
Sure.
They're not a.
But Deep Space Nine is like where Section 31 came from, and when it's brought up for the first time, everybody
they've never heard of it
has never heard of it before.
And this is where I get to the point where, because the people will premise that and be like, so how does this make sense?
Yes.
I just want to point out a small piece of information, which is Deep Space Nine takes place like 100 years in the future. Like can you not even conceive that things change over time?
But let's say like the NSA decided to go undercover.
Right.
Like, we've still heard of the NSA. Like, they would have changed their name into some other organization or something. Or like, the idea that a secret organization within Starfleet could exist and be common knowledge and then be a surprise 100 years later does not make sense to me.
I think it's totally plausible. I think they could have wiped all knowledge of themselves from the Starfleet records. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's enough time has passed that most of the people that knew of them in this period are dead. Right?
Sure.
You know, or how hard is it to tell people that they're crazy because you believe that Starfleet has this like rogue group of murderers who are out there doing this stuff?
Yeah.
It is so plausible to just bury the knowledge of that. And then they become the equivalent of like this Illuminati. Like some crazy conspiracy people maybe believe in Section 31.
Oh, you know what I'll bet they'll do is like at the end of the Section 31 TV show in 5 years or whatever it is, they'll be like, well, we got to continue operating but in secret.
Deeper
so
secret,
let's like disband this organization for everyone's public knowledge and then just keep going. Because the name Section 31 comes from like Section 31
of Article
something of the Constitution of the Federation.
Which says that by whatever means necessary.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think there's deeper criticisms to be made about Section 31 that you've brought up too, is that it sort of undermines this utopian aspect of the Federation and of the Star Trek universe.
Right.
I think those are valid criticisms that I don't happen to subscribe to, but that to me is a more interesting discussion than like, how come they have badges? Or like, why do they know now but not like, those are easily
well, for me,
over.
like the context of how Section 31 fits into the world that we're watching is important, because it seems to be different from the context that we've been told in the past
of what it is,
and that just confuses me.
Yes.
So I just want to know.
Right.
I guess like that. This keeps happening with Discovery, where they bring up something that is referential, but in a different context, and it doesn't make sense.
Yes, it's me.
And then eventually they explain it, but I'm like, maybe give me more up front. If you're knowingly going to mislead me, like as a Star Trek fan.
But it's not knowing, because no one that wrote Section 31 DS9 episodes had any idea that this was going to be addressed in a future thing. So there's no coherent long-term plan.
Right, but you can take what they've done in this episode and at least like be consistent with it. Not this episode in particular, but like with this series, you can take what Section 31 was in this series and be consistent with it, or acknowledge your inconsistencies.
The trouble is that and I think that you have the right idea.
Amanda says someday I'm gonna have to visit Seattle so she can argue with us in person.
Yeah, because I feel bad for.
And she's on your side on the dress thing, by the way.
Oh, great.
Yeah, which is unusual. Usually she's on my side.
Right. Yeah. I'm winning over converts.
I'll give you one, Amanda. I'm not even upset.
I feel bad for.
I'm proud of you.
Chat, because like you and I get into a deep thing like this, they're probably pinging away, or they're like, "No, I want to say this thing." And we're like, "No, we're locked into our."
Yeah, I mean, we always go back to chat. Like, we're not missing anything.
You throw to chat enough. I forget.
Yeah, I make sure that we're not missing stuff in chat. Someday, hopefully, we will have chat that goes fast enough that we will miss things. That's
our goal.
That would be a good
thing. Our
thing.
goal is to ignore you people.
Yeah, our goal is to have enough people in chat to make it a necessity to miss things. But right now, like, I actually kind of like the small thing too, because like. Because there's the chat's slow enough that we don't miss anything.
I'm sympathizing with her desire to argue with us in person, because then you can actually contemporaneously say, no, that's bullshit, the point you're making.
But if anyone ever wants to, I have a number. If anyone ever wants to, like, leave a voicemail for us to like talk about on the show, you're welcome to. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, if you leave a comment on YouTube, we will address it in the next episode.
Maybe, no promises.
But here, let me grab this number.
So I understand the people that have the philosophical problem with Section 31 as an entity in the Star Trek universe, and I get it. Like, and to me, that's like a warranted and valid sort of critique and an interesting discussion to have, even if I don't agree with the position. But the nitpicking of those other details are the part for me where it's like, ugh. That can be, you can paper over that. And as a Star Trek fan, you should be well used to just papering over things that don't make sense.
Right.
What I do think is interesting is the way you and I react to conflicting pieces of Star Trek canon that are presented to us through new shows, such as Discovery, where your initial reaction is like confusion or like a pushback. My first thought is like, oh, okay, so that's how this is now.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
but now is in the past is the problem with Discovery.
Now, in the broader sense of like this explains what Section 31 started out as. That's what this is, the truth now.
Yeah.
And you either have to reconcile with what it is in the future, or you have to say a compatch. That's like my new thing in my head of a like, it's just different, and it's always been different. But
if the thing is, like, if we are doing one timeline and it's just different, then like. What, did Q fuck the timeline or something?
No, it's just that's at a level where you're like, oh, there is no perfect internal consistency.
Right.
You acknowledge that it is a TV show.
I acknowledge that.
Right. And that to me,
sure.
compatch.
But compatch? What does that stand for?
That in TOS they have fabric.
Oh, patch.
Right.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah.
Right. I call those compatches.
Right.
And then in reality, when you're watching TOS, they had metallic communicator comm badges.
Right, but even on Discovery, their comm badges, I think, don't actually work, right?
Because they call each other.
Do they? Because when someone called someone on a Section 31 badge, who's like, "Oh, what kind of communicator is that?"
Right.
And which I thought meant, oh, those actually work.
Right.
Where ours are just decorative or something.
Oh, that could be. I'm not.
I have to pay attention to that. I'm not sure.
But the fact that even if they're not communicators, let's just say for the sake of argument, they're not communicators.
Yeah.
They're clearly physical metal objects.
Yeah.
In Discovery.
Right.
And on TOS, they're
sewn
patches that looks like they
and
were
that
made
type of thing I'm okay with, because like when you watch the original series. Now, there's no way to accept that ship works because it looks so silly.
Right. There's no doctors in bathrobes wandering around handing out pills and booze.
But then, like specific things, like we don't have holodecks until Next Generation.
Right.
Like, and they kind of like fussed around it. Like it's not a holodeck; it's just a shooting range.
Right.
In season 1.
Yeah.
I hate to do this, you guys, but I actually those phone calls I got earlier, I just checked. And it's actually the hospital, and I have to call them back. So we're gonna have to take a quick break,
pause,
just for a couple minutes, and we'll be right back.
Medical pause. Medical pause. Okay, here I'll vamp.
You want to vamp? I can leave you live, or do you want me to turn it off?
Don't talk to me. I'm vamping.
Oh yeah, this is Doug's vamping. All right.
You gonna pause it?
We'll be back, you guys.
That's fair.
All my hotkeys stopped working. What the fuck?
Tough but fair.
I have to turn everything off manually. That's bullshit. Okay, we'll be right back. There, I gotta turn the thing on.
Oh, I can't. This is gonna be.
What is that?
Well, that's my opinion of how you asked me. How do I feel about Section 31?
It's like a dude just like chugging this giant thing full of nonsense.
It's It's a giant, jug of water. And then on the jug, I've written Discovery, Picard, Section 31, Lower Deck, SETI Alpha 5, Short Trek. Holy shit, another cartoon?
Oh, Short Treks were great.
Yeah.
They were really good. The one with Saru was really cool.
Yeah, and they tied that in.
The more I thought about it, the more I liked it, and now it's tying... I haven't watched the newest episode yet. I'm really excited.
Oh, right. Okay, so you know that it is involved.
Yeah, they brought it up.
Yeah, it's...
Oh, man, they've, like, fixed Saru as a character. Like, I liked him, but I didn't love him, and like...
You might have strong opinions about this next episode.
I'm really excited.
I'm fine with it, but I know that there are some people who are like freaking out about some of the choices they made.
Okay.
Well, and without spoilers, I mean, because you already know the Kelpians, you know their situation.
Yeah.
There's like Prime Directive issues or General, which I love. They call it General Order 1, and it's a soft spot in my heart.
I like that too.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm excited.
Little things that Discovery could do that also would make me feel good is if they said like a time warp factor, because that was like a TOS thing. They didn't get it to just clean warp factor. It was time warp factor for a while.
Let's do the time warp factor again.
Yeah. Time warp factor 3.
Yeah.
Also, I so want Discovery. Of course I love Discovery. It's Star Trek. But what would do my heart so happy would be if they found one of these like full-on alternate Earth situations that was a bunch of them in TOS.
Right.
Where it makes no logic.
Like a taste of the action.
Yeah, where there's no logic sense to it. You know?
I mean, honestly, they kind of did that already this season. Like that planet.
Yeah, but that's small scale. They
knew about Earth. You know, they knew Earth existed.
What about they have like the Roman planet.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like
that was like the Pilgrims planet or something.
Right. And then there was the one in TOS where it's the kids that all the adults die, so it's all the
right. Miri.
Yeah, which is creepy as shit.
How do I know episode names from the original series? I've only seen one.
Pretty good. But that is like, they even show it. They're like, look, it's Earth. Like the planet, and they show America. Like or the one where it's like the really bad, like Space America, where like they've got the Constitution and the flag.
Yeah. Where they find the Constitution at the end and they like misinterpreted the words.
But that's like alternate Earth,
right?
Out in space, they find an Earth. It's not like someone like the other one. They left the mob information there. That was seeded. This was independently. Someone came up with all of the same. That's what I want. I think it's ludicrous. But I want Discovery to lean into it and go, fucking.
I think that they do.
Star Trek is ape shit crazy.
I definitely think they are leaning into that. I think that Discovery, in a lot of ways, is more inspired by the original series than any modern Trek.
Right.
Next Generation On, because Next Generation On is pretty consistent. Like once you get to season 3 of Next Generation, that's how Star Trek looks.
Yeah.
Until you get to the end of Voyager, and Enterprise looks different, but like in a way that is kind of halfway between our reality and TNG
as
reality.
A prequel, they
and TOS looks nothing like anything. Is completely batshit crazy,
right?
You know, and Discovery is like
batshit crazy.
Batshit crazy in a way that is kind of reminiscent of TOS.
Yeah,
and there's something admirable about that.
Yeah,
I think they missed the mark on season 1 in every way for me, but like season 2, they immediately with Captain Pike, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, he is like a 60s character.
I want Discovery to be given like a 7-season run.
Amanda's, where have we derailed to? We got back on Discovery. And how much I'm enjoying season 2 of Discovery. Amanda, what are your have you watched season 2 of Discovery yet? I've been so curious if you are into it. And I don't know, I don't think Paula's still here, but if Paula's here, I'd be really curious if she's watched it either. Because Paula's with me on season 1 being like awful. She's stopped watching.
Right.
And even like the first episode of season 2, Andy watched all season 1 with me. We watched first episodes in season 2 and like all that action shit in the second half. She's like, I'm confused and kind of bored, and I think I'm out.
Yeah.
She just stopped watching.
Totally fair. And
for me, like the next episode of the season was the one that I was like, wow, that was Star Trek-y. And I liked it.
Yeah.
You know? And every episode since then I've liked, even though like they've done some batshit crazy, ridiculous nonsense with the mycelial network. But I feel like the show is now kind of acknowledging how weird all of this is and like positioning itself to not use the mycelial network ever again because it's like dangerous to the people who live there.
Yeah.
Like the creatures who live there.
Which is within Star Trek.
Which is what I've expected them to do the whole time.
Of course,
That's why like the mycelial network being added in out of canon kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but didn't necessarily bother me because I felt like they were going to explain it later.
This was my point all along, is that this is the kind of thing that people would have swallowed, no question, if it had been a one-off in a single episode.
I also think that if they had set this show after DS9, chronologically, it would have all made perfect sense immediately.
Yeah, I'm less concerned about that because it's like, whatever.
But they're even like retconning, well, not retconning, but they're, I think it's retconning the design decisions of the Klingons in season 1, where they're bringing in, they brought in a house of Klingons that we hadn't seen in season 1, who looks more like Klingons from the modern era.
Right.
And then now implying that all of these houses are going to intermingle and interbreed, and that there'll be a more homogenous looking Klingon in the future.
Right.
Yeah, I liked that. I thought that that was kind of good housekeeping as far as like, we understand that people hated this. This is a good reason for it.
Yeah, it's why some people don't like that Enterprise explained the smooth-headed Klingons.
Oh, because like what Worf says in DS9 was beautiful. It's like, we don't talk about it.
Yeah, that would
acknowledge it, walk away. That is perfect.
But
I love that.
But I do like, balls to the wall, baby. Explain it. Get in there.
The augment virus. It's okay. I didn't dislike it.
But why not?
It was okay.
Yeah, this is another.
That's really good.
Thank you.
Here, let me.
But the text is going to be backwards. But we can. It's that classic meme template.
Okay, people who say Discovery
is not Star
Trek, and then that's Jason Momoa creeping up on Henry Cavill behind. It says Discovery Season 2. Yeah. I love how if you like get in the right place, your green screen gets fucked up. Like, look at that.
Oh yeah.
You know what that is? Those are the leftover particles from that Klingon that we rebeamed earlier.
Double beaming, man. It just leaves a bunch of particles behind.
We have been derailed for like half an hour.
Super derailed.
But the good thing, if you have the episode on screen, it can remind us where we are. What is this? What's happening here?
He's reacting
Odo's
to a clock.
Oh my god, let's just watch it again. I missed it.
Again! A clock.
Yeah! A clock.
So good.
Okay.
But yes, this is Mirror Universe Light.
Okay, I have a very important question about the next scene. I need us all to watch this and decide, is there chemistry between Odo and Kira? Is there chemistry? She is just owning that chair.
Yeah. She's a minx. She's a cat.
Did we have an appointment?
Look at them boots.
When have I ever had to stand on set?
She also has a real Joker vibe going on.
She's like the Cheshire Cat.
She is. Look at her. She's stretching.
She's such a cat. You're right.
She's just sexing it up.
I need your help.
Also, Nana Visitor, I think, really enjoys leaning in on this.
Yeah, let's bounce forward to when they're standing next to each other.
One we can control.
Right,
is there chemistry is the question.
But we go it alone. With me running this place, you will be able to do what needs to be done. If you want to toss Quark out on his ears, toss him out. If you want to proclaim martial law on the promenade, proclaim it. This station will be yours to protect, with no interference.
She's trying to get him on her side.
Sure, well, she knows what he wants.
This nonsense that's happening.
Oh, no. I trust you more than anyone on this station. Because you can't be corrupted. But this is a dangerous time. I can't take any chances, even with you. When the time comes, you'll know it. I'll be counting on you.
Okay,
also,
so
super breathy. I'll be good.
Oh wait, he turns to watch her go.
Computer, open a channel to Starfleet headquarters.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to spoil something about Deep Space Nine right now. So if you don't want to hear this, cover your ears.
We've been spoiling everything.
Yeah, we spoil a lot. Somewhat accidentally. Anyway, later on in the series, a relationship develops between Kira and Odo. Big spoiler alert, like Odo admits to have been in love with her for a long time.
Right.
So I am just like a hawk, just like...
Is this when he's in love with her?
Well, did the writers know that beforehand? Because it always felt...
I don't think so.
It always felt out of left field to me, and like watching this scene, I don't think so.
I don't think there's any intention that the two of them have any chemistry or spark.
Yeah.
I think this is all about Kira's character attempting to manipulate him.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying, like,
and then
if that's
him
the
trying
case,
to get information.
If that's the case, even if he's in love with her quietly,
right,
and he doesn't understand his sexuality, because we know that from the last episode,
just, right.
Like, is there any indication from the performance that he has feelings for her? And I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to keep an eye out for when is there an episode before they express their feelings that he actually, because the one that is explicit, I think the earliest one that's explicit is when she gets trapped in that stone thing.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the episode.
Right. So when before that does he express her love?
Right. His love for her.
Right, in a secret way.
For me, watching that episode for the first time, I was like, that is out of nowhere.
It does, right. It feels very jarring.
So we're gonna
it's
like
watch
for that.
7 of 9.
We're gonna watch for
where
that.
Where they're like, oh, by the way.
Oh, right.
That's just a like, boom, these two.
Yeah, that took me a second to remember.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Chakotay and Janeway camping out on that planet, because that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's the time where you're like, okay, this is a good way to have this flirtation, you know.
Amanda says only the writers of Grey's Anatomy think that far ahead. I love storytelling.
Yeah.
Obviously. I'm so into storytelling. And I just love when storytellers, like, think ahead.
Yes.
I feel like there's so much intentional forethought in Deep Space Nine.
Right.
So much.
Right.
And like Babylon 5 is the shining achievement of forethought in storytelling.
Right.
And there's this balance between like having an idea of where your story's gonna go, or like you can have strict rules of where the story's gonna go. You can have a general idea, which in my opinion is the best way to go.
Right.
Or you can have like no idea and be Stephen King and just start writing and see where you end up, and then just make up a Deus Ex Machina when you're 1,000 pages in.
Yeah.
And the hand of God comes down and ends the stand, and well, all right, whatever, we're done.
And DS9 is in a hybrid state because episode to episode, for the bulk of its run, it is just like there is no overarching thing. There's a through line with some of the characters, but those are broad strokes things that I think come up at like a season level. Like there's no indication here that Julian's gonna hook up with a Dabo girl and that Rom is gonna become a communist leader,
or that Julian is like super intelligent and hiding
all
it,
of that stuff. It comes out later, and then they follow those threads. And sometimes with Star Trek, they'll start one and they'll just be like, nah, this no more.
Well, at the end of almost every episode of this season, they've dangled a thread that we wanted to continue that they dropped.
Yeah, classic. They just reboot
I feel
everything.
Like, I think that this show probably knew that having a wormhole, access to the Gamma Quadrant.
Right.
Yeah, Gamma Quadrant. I think that they probably had some idea that there was going to be a conflict with the power from the Gamma Quadrant that's going to define the show. I think that that's just there.
But that's like
from the
101. Like, you know.
And like the stuff with the prophets and Cisco, they're from the beginning. You know.
Well, I would say to a degree from the beginning, but
but like the stuff with his mom, obviously.
At this point, they don't know that.
Yeah, I agree. The details get filled in later, and for the most part, I like that in storytelling where you have a general idea, the framework to work within, but like the details are going to come out over time through the performances of the actors, the chemistry of the actors. You're going to change things. It's going to grow. You need to have a little flexibility. Whereas if you're like super rigid with the story that you've come up with over 7 years, it's gonna break. And I think Lost is the perfect example of like having no fucking idea where you're going.
You don't know where it's
and
gonna
just
end,
like trying to
keep all.
And yeah, no idea where you're going. Or if you did, like completely changing direction based off of audience reaction.
Yeah.
And like trying to keep people guessing in a way that feels artificial.
Yeah.
Whereas this show, I think Deep Space Nine does a really good job overall of like having an arc that feels intentional and feels inevitable,
right?
But also feels surprising,
yeah,
and feels like a story. Like there is like a sure there's like Monster of the Week episodes, but the core canon of Deep Space Nine is really cool and like part of my favorite thing about the show. But getting back to like what we're seeing here and talking about with Odo and Kira, I feel like where they drop the ball a little bit is with these character arcs. Like Cisco's feels very strong to me,
right,
the whole time.
Right,
like
Jadzia makes no sense.
Jadzia makes no sense.
Oh, wait, do you mean in this one episode?
No, in the show, like the whole show.
Mind. I thought you went back to the episode, meaning the arcs of the personae.
Oh, right. No, I mean like the arc of the characters
Cisco starts
in general.
depressed.
Like Odo and Kira fall, enter into a relationship.
Odo is the data character, the Spock character.
Unfortunately, we kind of have to spoil things to talk about this, but I feel like we should.
Why do you worry about spoilers? The show's been out for like 2-3 years.
Well, because if I were watching this show for the first time and watching Doug Space Nine with it, I wouldn't want spoilers.
Okay.
And I think that would be the most fun way to experience Doug Space Nine.
If people are coming into Doug Space Nine without Deep Space Nine experience, who are they?
I mean, I hope that happens, Like, I hope that someone finds this on YouTube in 10 years is like, this is a fun project. I want to watch this and watch Deep Space Nine.
If you're just finding this, pause, go watch all of Star Trek. It should only take you a couple of months dedicated, maybe a year. Come back in.
Yeah, I mean, definitely watch ahead.
In 10 years from now, it's going to take so much longer because they're going to have to watch Picard. They're going to have to watch Section 31.
You know, I've had the number memorized, like 726 episodes of Star Trek until Discovery. Now you got to update that number all the time, and there's something very exciting about that.
Yeah, because
like I have seen 726 episodes of Star Trek, and I know that.
Right.
But now I don't know how many episodes I've seen because there's more. Right. And do we count the short treks? And do you count the animated series? I would say yes to the short treks.
It's an exciting world to be a Star Trek fan.
It is, and now that Discovery's getting better, I'm excited. Like, I honestly, Discovery being good in season 2, I mean, and it's not at like Next Generation or even Deep Space Nine level for me yet, but
sure.
But I'm really enjoying it. It's one of the things I'm looking forward to most in the week, besides obviously Survivor, which is the best show on television.
And it could get to that level, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah,
because,
it could.
Again, if you look at the arc of improvement of any of the other series, it's dramatic. You know?
It is, yeah, and you've always been right about that. And look, Amanda left because of spoilers. Amanda popped off for spoilers, which is back. Wigs and spoilers. That's what this episode's all about. Okay, so Odo. Oh my God, this scene. Let's just watch the best thing that comes out of this episode be built, which is the clock. I love this clock.
This is a fetish object.
Yeah. So I'm gonna turn the sound off so we can talk over it. But yeah,
it's beautiful.
O'Brien basically takes over as like commander.
Yeah.
But in a way where he doesn't want any responsibility, which actually is kind of a fun power dynamic to watch. Where he's like in charge of making all the decisions and sending security out places and shit, but still reporting back to Sisko, who is only interested in building a clock.
Yeah.
Which I love. Like, that type of weird detail is why I watch Star Trek.
Extending
for
this
weird shit
out
like this.
into the future, O'Brien, it would be like at least another year before he actually thought about taking power from Sisko. He would still be a loyal second in command.
Okay, wait. I gotta turn the sound back on so we can watch this.
Yes.
Hold on. Backing it up.
This is a defining moment for this episode for me, for Sisko.
I didn't have time for this. Andy loved the clock. Yeah, it's so good. I thought about making a supercut of all the weird moments of this episode because they're so good.
They're so good.
Here we go.
Leave the station.
Never!
I'll get rid of Kira. Hear me out, sir.
That's it, yeah.
Get
me a phaser. I'll get rid of Kira.
Attack the force and return. On that day, we'll get rid of all your enemies.
The way he sits down is so good.
Yeah.
It's so intentional.
How do we proceed?
Yep. And then back to the clock.
Need a few more hours to free
It's I think it's brilliant, and I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's an obsessed like Kira's is paranoid and manipulative.
Yeah.
Sisko's is just irrational anger and obsession.
And he already has power.
Yeah.
It's like
he's the one everyone's coming for.
It's like they've already played Survivor. He's played Survivor once before and won.
Yeah.
And is just in charge of the tribe because he's already been there. And like, people should question his authority but haven't yet.
Right.
Eventually he'll get voted out, or in this case, killed by Major Kira's assassin. Yeah, I don't know. Like, power dynamics are interesting, and if you're interested in that at all, watch Survivor.
Yeah.
Have you watched Survivor?
Yeah. It's been a while, but I had watched several seasons when it was first on.
It has changed dramatically.
Well, because now the metagame that's been like I was starting to, I drifted out of Survivor as that began its thing. I'd seen a few seasons where people clearly had seen Survivor,
right?
And then it was a few more where it was like, oh, now they're openly talking about it,
right?
You know, and then when it got to the gimmicky like boys versus girls or this right, I think that was when I was towards it. So I think I got it to season 7 or 8 maybe.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. There's 38 seasons.
Yeah.
Watch. Okay, everyone, go watch Survivor season 33. It's Millennials versus Gen X, which is silly. Like those.
Sure.
Those things are always a little bit silly.
It gives it a hook.
But like the way that they play out is always fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, the setup of it is always a little forced in my opinion, but like what happens is always fascinating.
Yeah.
And season 33, like really high level strategy players came into the game for the first time. It's all first time players, so you don't need to have seen anything before.
Right.
And it's just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Every episode, like every tribal council is surprising. And there's this guy, David, who's maybe my favorite Survivor ever, like this total underdog. And he's back this year on season 38. The first episode premiered a couple days ago. So he's back, and watching him play again is so exciting. I would love to be on Survivor someday. I love that shit.
Call me when they stop doing it, like, where you actually have to, like, be physical.
Yeah.
Do, like, you know, Slacker Survivor.
Slacker Survivor. Who can eat chips?
That's what you mean. And who can convince you to go buy the chips?
I don't have time for jokes.
I don't have time for jokes.
Your findings.
He's got giant hands, that man.
Who controls this station?
This is when Odo starts to play along.
Yeah.
And, like, try to use the scenario against everybody.
Yeah.
And I love, like, Bashir's expression. He's like, "You're playing with us now."
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, it's interesting because they clearly take external reality and feed it into this narrative, so it's relatively easy for Odo, as long as he doesn't fight against the narrative.
Right.
Then he can slot himself into it.
And I love that he gets that and starts doing it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
How? All in good time. First, tell me about the Klingon.
Yeah, and this is a much more
great acting.
subdued version of Bashir being a possessed. And he's also mostly focused on his regular work, you know.
Yeah.
The membrane permeability was off. What could
Yeah, Odo, like, tricks him into doing his regular job.
Yeah.
Which is great. And he tricks him into, like, solving the problem.
Yeah, I did like that. I liked how they got to their resolution of that.
Let's see what happens when he leaves the room.
Well, no, you're not going to get your look back anymore.
I don't think so.
Because now he knows what's going on.
I think there was only 2 look backs in this episode.
Yeah, he does the look backs because he's like,
oh, we didn't even see him leave the room.
see, it's not even worth it.
Bummer. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Are you ready for the best action sequence in the history of Star Trek? Oh, this is too far.
Oh, this is too far.
Wait. Let's get into this.
Brian, I really think you should see this.
Kira sent this guy to assassinate
Hey,
Cisco.
can you just look at this thing?
Watch the Bajoran. He does not fight back at all.
Oh, that's not good.
Wait, let's see that again.
Oh, that is rough to watch.
He just like punches Jadzia.
Just backhand slaps.
Ugh, it's horrible.
2.
When they go across the room and he's like punching him, I love it.
No, 3.
Ooh.
4. 5. 6.
It's just
Next
like
snap.
not even trying to fight back.
I want the truth. Is that clear?
I love this.
Let's see how this works.
Yeah. So now here's another thing that I think about every time I see this episode. How awkward is it at work following this? That dude who got tuned up by his boss. His boss kicked the shit out of him. Probably broke his ribs.
Yeah.
You know, he
definitely broke his face.
Definitely broke his
face. What is the palm punch called?
Oh, I don't
like
know.
the Star Trek palm punch.
Oh,
everybody.
We didn't get one of these.
The two-hander, yeah. In the future, you can only fight like this or like this. Those are the only things that cause damage.
Mathematically, those are the best moves. That's what everyone realized. They work on more. They're not the best moves, but they're generically they work on a wide variety of humanoids.
Them walking across the set with one man punching another over and over.
That guy just takes it.
It's just so fucking funny. Like the comedic timing of everything happening in this scene is so good.
Yeah.
But it also like works because the show doesn't need to be serious.
Yeah.
I love O'Brien beaming him and Cisco out of the bridge. Like that's coming up in just a second here.
Because this is them using these. This is using the technology in ways that we sometimes complain about. Like, why wouldn't they just do that? Why would they do that? This is like, no, you would just emergency beam out.
There's people stuck in a shuttlecraft. We can't get the pylon open. Well, we got no way to get him out. You know.
I guess that's where he lives now.
Because transporters don't exist. I love this like surreptitious beam out.
Yeah,
it's great. I wish that when he'd like done the beaming, he had gone ha cha cha cha.
But this is the we're like, I guess I just forgot. Like, who?
Oh yeah, she's like, why didn't you turn that off? She's like, I forgot.
I just want to know who that person was in the original narrative. Like, here you've got like, you know, the loyal dog, and you've got the crazy violent leader. You've got the dedicated rebel.
Yeah.
You've got all the loyal minions, and then you've got like
basically
the dopey fuck.
Everyone from the Scooby Gang.
That's Shaggy. Yeah.
Yeah, and at this point in the episode, it's a lot of fun. Like your favorite characters are fighting against each other, and Odo's like playing both sides against each other. He like pretends that he like gave Kira a gift by getting them all to go down to the thing, and then when Cisco realizes that Odo's double crossed him, Odo, like we gotta find that because that's so good. So okay, they're going down to the. Let's skip forward here.
This is also the classic. Let's take off our badges.
Oh, I think
there
this is it. Okay, wait.
Stuff.
This is the stuff. I'm gonna turn the sound on.
She must have realized we removed our combat.
Let's back up.
Jog.
That's all I need to know. Let's go.
What's wrong? It's been seen.
There it is. He's got twitchy fingers.
She must have realized we removed our comm badges by now.
She should have realized that immediately.
Ooh. I gotta play piano.
It's completely locked down. Someone's.
Oh wait, it's coming. It's coming.
Level 5 security protocol. There's only one other person on the station besides yourself has that kind of access.
Who could it be? Who is it? Who is it?
Odo.
It's Odo!
Odo. See, I love it because this is a character who is now very quickly losing all power.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where like the nervous twitch comes in, and then the anger at like finding out who betrayed him. You know, I think it's great.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it. I really enjoy it. Like the hand thing, I'm into it. You know, it's like it's a huge. It's like again, he's like swinging for the fences with a big choice, but he commits to it, and I buy it. You know?
And it's a like I don't know what to do.
Like look in his eyes.
Yeah,
he's in it.
Well, see, because now he knows what to do. He needs to get those big hands around Odo's neck and squeeze.
Yeah. I love the fact that like once they pull this thing out of everyone's heads, they like just let it go out into space. Everyone grabs something.
It's a telepathic virus that is visual.
Yes, let's watch that happen.
Major, wait.
Glad you two could make it.
Computer, execute Odo 1.
He calls the program Odo 1.
Oh, people are terrible when they make programs in the Star Trek universe. So now it's a gaseous thing that has a physical manifestation.
Right.
That's telepathy. Matrix, the telepathic matrix. That's what they refer to it later.
Constable? Everybody grab hold of something secure.
This crate is secure.
Yeah, it is not.
Crates are secure?
They're just sitting on the ground.
Well, they show them later. They are actually strapped down. But
are they? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Because I was like, what's going on here?
It'd be so fucked up if this is how one of the main cast dies.
See, they show like a strap. But yeah, it's like a terrible...
Look at Odo down there.
Oh wait, pause. Someone got his comm badge back. That was the visual like goof that I noticed this time watching.
Yeah,
it.
he and O'Brien took the comm badges off.
If you will go forward, you don't need to go back to it. In a few seconds, that disappears again.
Does it?
So they clearly did a pickup scene or a reshoot, and then they forgot that he was wearing his comm badge.
I'm turning the sound off and just play this for a sec.
But it's like blatant.
Yeah, he doesn't have one.
He doesn't have one, and then he won't in the next time we see Cisco. It's just that one hugging of the box. For whatever reason, they decided they needed. See?
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just a visual. It's just
good catch.
It's just a goof. I mean, it's no big deal.
There was something in an earlier episode. I like that kind of stuff. It's fun to catch because like it's fun to theorize. Like, oh, maybe they did pickups or whatever. You know?
On another level, this is the thing when people want to argue about stuff. This is where you're like, this means that you can never have perfect canon because there's literally no good explanation apart from just like, oh, sometimes comm badges mysteriously appear and disappear.
Right. I think I'm the type of person who can discard production mistakes as non-canon, even though they're on screen.
Right, but what it means is that you can't have the show itself be internally consistent without referencing things in the outside world, which to me then is like, oh, you opened the door a little crack for me to go, what about big budgets? You know?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like when I watched Babylon 5, I recognized that the internal canon of that is like really solid.
Right.
But like the production value is terrible.
Yes.
So, like, what you see does not make sense, but what they tell you it is does make sense.
Right.
So I can kind of go along with it.
Babylon
And Star
5
Trek is that way a lot, I think.
Babylon 5 has the advantage where it can be like, yeah, this is a future, it's an alternate history future, that's why its computers look 80s even though they're in the 22nd century, whatever. But if they ever did like a new Babylon 5 thing or something that showed stuff that was shown before but now looks better, that's when you get the visual inconsistency that Star Trek isn't wrestling with. They clearly have decided we're just going to spend money.
And I think it's the right choice. But what I would like is if they did that with something that looked closer to the original series. Not that I dislike the look of Discovery, but like show me, even like the Discovery itself,
show me a
good,
bridge station with a desk lamp.
Well, show me the bridge of the Enterprise so that I can see that that round wooden post and like the red and the black and the gray.
The Abrams movies did a better job of.
Yeah, I mean that bridge looks nothing like.
But it's
the original
closer.
Series. It is closer, yeah. But I'm saying like show me something on Discovery that is the Enterprise bridge and looks like pretty close.
Right.
It'll make everything else make more sense to me.
Yeah.
It's like if you can translate the visual style of Discovery to the original series on something specifically that we've seen and make it look close. I think the uniforms is a perfect example.
Right.
That when you see Pike and Number One and all that like in the gold, yeah, or the red with his security officer. Like, that's a translation of the original series that makes more sense than the original series did.
Right.
Looks really good, looks close, and works for me.
Yeah.
I'm 100% on board with that.
Yep.
So, I feel like they're trying to do that a little bit more with the Klingons, with the TNG version of Klingons, but like, completely ignoring that the augment virus happened. But how long did... Okay, Enterprise takes place 10 years... No. Enterprise takes place 100 years before the original series.
At least, yeah.
Right?
I don't know the exact dates.
And then Discovery's 10 years before the original series. In the original series, we see augment virus infected Klingons.
Right.
So it's still around.
Right.
But we haven't...
Well, no, they're not augment virus infected Klingons. They're the descendants.
Right.
Of
Yes.
augment. So,
that's right.
And this is to me is another easy. It's not satisfactory, but it's an easy explanation of like the lack of seeing a thing that has been shown to exist in the universe doesn't mean that it has mysteriously disappeared from the universe.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, they could still be there on Discovery, we just haven't seen them. They're
Right.
one of the houses, say,
was
the only house infected, maybe.
Right, exactly. And they could be pariahs, and so they don't get to go to any of the meetings, and it's not till later that they are... Whatever, it doesn't... Them not being here doesn't mean that they don't exist.
But then it makes no sense to genetically modify spies. You have a whole house of Klingons that look human. Make them spies.
Right, yeah. No, I agree with you. But that's like the original series does it itself.
Right.
Where they're like, we modified these people who look human.
But yeah, in that case, it's like we changed their eyebrows.
We took away his goatee and made him not look dusky.
Yeah, these guys are not in blackface, unfortunately, like original series Klingons are kind of blackfacey.
Kind of, yeah. People use it as a trolling issue of like, is Alexander a blackface, because they're darkening his skin to...
Sure.
But
when you're wearing prosthetics and like you go that big step further, it doesn't feel that way.
Well, the question is like, is Shran blueface? Like, well, no, because there's not... It's not blackface because he's not portraying an African American. He's a white person portraying an alien species.
Right.
Who has dark skin, so we've darkened their skin for the role.
Is that what's happening in the original series?
Yes.
I think intentionally,
yes and no. There's the original series. I think it's a little more complicated and nuanced because the intent of the Klingons was to represent, like this, like the human enemies,
Right.
So like the design choice of the Klingon themselves is a little bit fraught in that sense.
Right, but it's not like they're acting like Jar Jar Binks, It's not like
and
they're not going anywhere close to blackface is associated with minstrel shows.
Right.
They're not going anywhere near that.
Like, let's just say Code of Honor is a far more offensive.
Yeah, Code of Honor's
because
very
that is
offensive.
like we're directly mapping an Earth culture into space and then portraying them in like broad stereotypes.
But yeah, I mean, when you have like, I was talking to someone recently.
Did we lose our audience? Is there people still listening?
Yeah, there's people still here. I was talking to someone recently who is a friend of mine who is black, and he was saying like, it kind of bothered him how on like TNG era, they'd always have black people playing Klingons and who
Right.
were always like angry.
Right.
And
sure.
he felt a little bit like, I hope I'm not remembering his words incorrectly.
Right.
He's just like, he actually really liked Star Trek. I don't even know if bothered him was the right word, but he's just like, yeah, that's just, you know.
It's a bad habit that a lot of shows get into, of that othering, you know, and that you're like, oh, you know, we should have more diversity. Let's make them
Right.
play the monsters and villains. Like, oh,
Sure.
that's not...
Yeah, no, that's a huge problem.
Right.
But there are, like, I mean,
To DMG's
Christopher
credit-
Lloyd played a Klingon in
Right.
Star Trek
Right.
3.
3 or 4?
I think it's...
Not 4. Definitely not 4.
Not 4. I think it's 3.
3, yeah.
I think it's 3. Search
And then,
for Spock.
and then Christopher Plummer played one in
And
Undiscovered
6.
Country?
Yeah. So there's a long history of...
Klingons are not
with Klingons. Like
exclusively played by African Americans in the 90s era Trek.
Right.
It was a common thing, but that wasn't
But in the
exclusive.
original series, they were exclusively white people, like, painted to look darker.
Right.
Which gets you into this...
With Fu Manchu
with
mustaches.
Fu Manchu mustaches, yeah. Which gets you into this awkward area of, like, it kind of looks like blackface.
Right.
You know, whether or not they meant it to or not.
Right.
It feels kind of...
It
feels kind of wrong when you watch it. You know, now it feels...
There's a lot of weird stuff
problematic.
like that in Star Trek, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Code of Honor is a great example of something. But the actors on Code of Honor, like, I've heard them talk about it, and they... what's up, Nightwing? Nightwing is asking, does it smell like Updog in here?
I don't know what an updog is.
Yeah. Well, he wants you to say, what's up, dog?
Oh, I see. I just don't know what an updog is.
The answer is yes. It smells like Updog in here. Yeah, it's interesting because I think intention is so important.
Right.
And I don't think that Star Trek has ever done anything intentionally to other people, but they've done it
Right.
accidentally a lot.
A lot, right.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, even some of the stuff that we see constantly in DS9 of them...
racially profiling Ferengi
stuff
related
we've
people.
talked about this before, in like the sort of like very creepy sexual behavior.
Right.
There's stuff that's just not examined. But that's fine, you know, that's history sometimes has a better ability to look at things than the contemporaries do.
Yeah.
I do think that Star Trek's heart is in its right place, but you can't just write it off as like it doesn't count. Like, no, it's certainly emblematic of a time where even people trying to do good and be good were making huge mistakes.
And I think that's
had
okay.
Huge blind spots.
I think that, like, as a society, as we grow, our blind spots will be filled in by each other.
Yeah.
And we need to have forgiveness for each other if you do something wrong and you didn't intend it.
One of the
wrong,
things that
you know?
I've said before, because I know
But you need to be held accountable, but I
Right.
think the other people need to have... I think that's all part of being in society.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, we
live in a society.
We've made a lot of improvement, and Star Trek has been a big part of our improvement as a society. But, yeah, we can hold it accountable for, like, having some things that are a little bit hard to watch now that don't hold up well.
So to
but
me...
still forgive the show for... Well, not forgive the show, just be aware of it.
Be aware of it, acknowledge it, don't hide it.
It doesn't mean
don't
you can't
pretend it
love
doesn't
Star
exist.
Trek,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Discovery, one of the common complaints about Discovery is that it's a prequel, so that already creates problems with canon issues. We don't need another prequel, blah, 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 blah. One thing, though, that making it a prequel does is it shows that the Federation and Starfleet has been diverse in that period of time.
Hmm.
Where if you only have TOS, you're like, so it's basically just like humans, mostly white,
Yeah.
in Starfleet and going around and representing the Federation.
Right.
You know, there's like one half alien that's on the bridge of the flagship.
Spock.
Right. Here, with Discovery, you're like, oh, actually, no. It is culturally and racially the human race diverse. We have other alien species. There's the Federation adheres to ideals that you would want it to adhere to at that point in its time of that timeline.
And yet both of Discovery's captains have been white men.
Yeah, but one of them was just straight out evil.
Sure, but yeah, I actually,
which I think is an interesting exploration of the trope, by the way.
Yeah, totally. And like Pike, I think has been an interesting exploration of that traditional, like 60s, you know, swashbuckling space hero.
Yeah.
But I want something different in season 3. I would love a female and I would love an alien captain. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And I was listening to the Star Trek podcast hosted by 2 women, one of whom is from Venezuela, and she made a lot of really good points of things that I just wouldn't notice because I don't have her background, but she's
Right.
like, there's just like no Latinos.
Right. Or
Like, they don't. She keeps saying they don't make it to the future.
Well, that was the one. That was always the terrible racist joke about Arabs on TNG '90s era.
Oh, really? I haven't heard that. Luckily for me.
Yeah, I'll tell you off air.
Okay, good. Yeah, we don't even want to perpetuate that stuff.
But
speaking of which,
B'Elanna
like,
Torres was a
Wilson
character
Cruz
that people...
coming back is like very exciting.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. But I mean, it has. I knew he was coming back
Of
because
course, it was planned.
as an actor. But like, in what capacity we didn't know until recently. But that I think was planned. It's just like, I just really didn't like the storytelling style of season 1, and the way that was handled really bothered me.
Yeah.
But I'm thrilled that they are kind of correcting that now.
I don't think of it as
like
a correction. I think of it as a fulfillment of a story.
Sure, I think that's true in this case.
It had huge emotional weight.
Yeah, but it felt like forced and false to me. And also, like, the showrunners of season 1 are out. You know, they're not running the show anymore. And I think that, honestly, like, I watched After Trek, which was canceled, and it was terrible, and I couldn't even finish it.
Well, we talked about that, where I was like, oh, don't watch that stuff. It's poisoning
They
your
have
mind.
a new show that's like a live Facebook broadcast that I don't watch because I'm out now. But, like, I watched those showrunners talk a lot about their characters and the development, and I hated everything they said and did not see it in the show.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad they're not running the show anymore. And I think that, for me, personally, like, a big part of why Discovery Season 2 has improved is because there's new people at the helm of the show who are better at their jobs.
Yeah, I think that's a big help. There's TNG went through that issue as well. Like, Gates McFadden quit because I believe
she was fired.
The stories I've been reading say that she was sexually harassed.
Oh,
and
really?
That there was an issue with one of the writers or showrunners or something like that.
I have not heard that.
Maybe we should do that'll be our homework. We'll do a dive into that.
That's awful. Well, I'm glad they corrected that and brought her back.
Yeah. And if I'm repeating false rumors, apologies.
Yeah. Justin says, speaking of, I love Tony Todd's range, playing Kern, the quintessential Klingon, and old Jake Sisko and his heartbreaking life story. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. He's fucking awesome. Tony Todd is great in everything. He was on Stargate SG-1 in the later seasons that weren't very good, and he was great.
Yeah. I still get to start SG-1.
Dude, after Star Trek, we should do Stargate, because I love those shows.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do all 30 seasons of all of the Star Trek shows, because we'll be busy for a while.
You know, who knows? We'll see where we go. I feel like I'm feeling committed to Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because we've talked about, like, throwing in some Discovery.
Yeah.
But I feel like after we finish Deep Space Nine, we might want to do, like, Discovery or something.
We should do a Discovery show so we can talk more about Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, 10 seasons of SG-1. That's so true. And 5 seasons of Atlantis and 2 seasons of Universe, which is so underrated. Stargate Universe was a fucking gorgeous show.
Heard good things.
It's so good. Season 1, it took some time and was a little too dour for a while, but it found its footing. It's so good.
Do Stargate fans argue about internal inconsistencies and canon?
Stargate is purposefully stupid sometimes. Like, Stargate addresses its inconsistencies.
So it's the way, like, Doctor Who, it's like, what are you even trying to do here?
Stargate addresses its inconsistencies and waves them away.
Yeah.
Very similarly to that thing where Worf says, like,
Don't ask.
Don't ask.
Yeah.
And it's great. And it serves the show so well, and it makes it so those things aren't an issue. Because there's a huge issue in the fact that, like, the movie, Kurt Russell plays the character that MacGyver plays in the show.
Right.
Richard Dean Anderson.
Right.
And they look nothing alike. And at one point, the show even says, "Oh, there's another Colonel O'Neill. He's got 2 L's in his name." And they did that on purpose, and they didn't tell you that for years. But like the original O'Neill had 1 L, and the new one had 2, or vice versa.
Right.
It's fucking great. Got to pick stuff up on Netflix. Yeah, Universe being canceled was devastating. But Travelers was canceled, which is devastating. Mm-hmm. But Brad Wright, who created Stargate, the TV shows, who also created Travelers, is talking about working on a new Stargate show now that he's off of Travelers.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. But it was a good ending to Travelers.
It was a great ending.
Yeah.
That show was fucking
awesome. To the point
awesome.
where I was not sure, like, ooh, do I even want to watch a season 4
That's
of
how
this?
I felt about season 5 of Fringe. I'm like, I don't think I need any more.
Yeah.
And I think 5 was the second to last.
Yeah.
Whichever was the second to last. And I didn't even finish the last season. It was, like, way in the future. I didn't dislike it. I just, like...
Yeah.
I ran out of steam. I gotta finish that.
All right, do we need to vote on this one?
We do need to vote on this one. Is there anything here that we missed? Here's Sisko and his clock. His beautiful fucking clock that's so glorious.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, they all forgive each other.
Of course.
Yeah.
This is the part where it's like, this should be part of Starfleet training. Like, yeah, sometimes you're going to get possessed, you're going to beat the shit out of a subordinate, and then you're going to have to go to work the next day.
Yeah. Or you might, like, forget who you are and have sex with Ensign Ro, and then the next day be really embarrassed when Ro and Troy are eating chocolate together.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Cool. Let's vote. All right. Let's pull up our straw poll. So we're voting a rating for this episode from 1 to 10. And if you are watching, you need to vote.
Democracy only works if you participate.
Exactly. So there's your straw poll. So, Doug, what do you say?
I really enjoyed this episode. I think that it's a good, fun episode. I think I'm going to give this an 8. I think this fits in with the kind of thing that I like. I love that it's like a mirror universe light, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. I really enjoy this episode, but I don't think it's that good, you know? Like as a piece of television, it's like serviceable and well made, but it doesn't develop in a way that's super interesting until about halfway through.
Right.
Like even when we were just going through and watching clips and stuff,
it could have been.
I was thinking about how like halfway is when it starts to get interesting. And really, like, when Odo starts to play along is where I really get on board.
Right.
So
like,
I would have paced this way differently.
Have you rewatched season 1 of, like, TNG or even TOS recently?
I've
like,
watched, yeah.
Oh, my God.
TNG I have.
Yeah.
But TNG, like, all those moments are filled with weird detail about what it's like to be in space.
Yeah.
And it's all wrong, but I love all of it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that way about that. Like, this one...
They slowly meander towards the episodes. It's like season 2.
But they start with like character stuff. Like, let's all cook eggs together, and like, let's like play a weird sport on the holodeck and talk about Riker's career. You know.
But they learn by season at least 3, if not sooner, to start the episode off. We're on our way to this planet to go pick up this bullshit.
Sure.
Earlier, they're like, we're getting a call. Oh, hi, I'm Space Captain. What do you want?
Yeah.
We need you to go to this planet and pick up this stuff. Hold on, let's get Geordi to transfer commands to engineering.
Yeah.
Can you put him on mute? It's like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Or like you'll go to the holodeck with Worf and Riker and like beat up shit.
Let's just faff around here for a bit.
Yeah, and then like when you get to the story, you starting over after the first commercial break. You know, I love that because I love using the format of the hour-long television show, 42 minutes of stuff.
With filler.
Yeah, 5 acts, you know, play with it. Like, do a 4-act thing and then, like, a separate 5th act that, like, the first act is its own story and then 4 acts of a different story. I think that's kind of cool,
Play
you know?
some ping pong.
Smallville did this really well. It would do a... Really well. It would do a 4-act story and then the 5th act is all talking about what happened.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I want the characters to talk about what happened to them. And you get like this one scene of that in this episode. It's like, why did you build this clock? I have no idea. I mean...
Also, forgive you for treason. Thank you!
Yeah, totally. And which in this episode I think is all you need.
Well, I derailed you. You were just saying that you thought it was paced slow, and I was sympathizing with you.
Amanda says, is Doug trying to take down the green screen? Trying to punch a hole in it.
I keep dipping.
We don't have quite enough green screen to cover both of us, so we're sitting right on it. I have that like green screen that comes up and down from Elgato. It's great. It's a great product, but it's made for one person. Yeah, Smallville is a fantastic show through season 7, and then shit goes wrong. But it's again the showrunners leave. You know.
Yeah.
Showrunners are so important to a show.
It's
It makes such a big difference.
Show unless you really go off in a different direction.
Yeah, but I loved Smallville, the earlier stuff. Okay. Oh yeah, my rating. I didn't rate it yet. So okay, I definitely like this more than the Forsaken, but they're pretty comparable as far as like. There's stuff that I really love about both of them. And there's nothing in this episode that upsets me, that makes me want to drop the score.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. But yeah, there isn't something...
I'm going to give this one a 6.5.
Woof.
6.5. Which to me, like, as far as Deep Space Nine episodes go, I like everything above 4.
Yeah.
You know? Anything above 4 to me is, like, enjoyable. A good episode is going to be, like, 7 and higher.
Right.
And this is just under that to me. I really like this episode. But I'm biased towards Deep Space Nine because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm rating very harshly, and I've been trying to rate consistently.
Yeah, no.
Like, I rated this 6.5. Let's go back. I put The Storyteller at a 6.5.
Yeah. Stay true to yourself.
Which I feel like I liked this one more than that, but it's close. I gave the Negas a 6.4. No, that's chat. I'm reading chat. Okay, no. Storyteller, I gave... No, that was me. Okay, yeah. What else did I give a 6.5? Nothing. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty accurate.
And also, don't second guess yourself.
I think we're solid.
If you keep going back, you're not getting a good...
And chat gave us a 6.5.
6.5.
Nice. All right, chat. Validating my numbers. I appreciate it. I just wrote 65.5. That's wrong.
That's a good score.
Okay. Best... Wait.
Character.
Yeah, favorite character. Let me make the poll real quick. Who do you think?
Oh,
wait, no, we gotta nominate. I keep forgetting that.
Well, yeah, I was going in with the nominations. It's got to be
Cisco,
basically everybody. Cisco,
Odo,
Kira, Bashir,
Dax, O'Brien.
Yeah.
Telepathy bubble. Telepathy cloud. I think that's everyone. Who else is in this? Quark.
Oh yeah, Quark.
Okay, so this is favorite character. I forgot the other, but fuck it. I'll get in the habit of that eventually.
Yeah, it's a new thing.
Okay, chat, there you go. Click that link, vote on your favorite character in this episode. In this episode, who was your favorite character?
Yeah.
What do you think?
For me, Kira.
Kira?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because part of it might be a little bit of the, like, knowing that this is like the prologue to the Intendant.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
But I thought the Kira character... Here's the other thing, is that we're voting on their favorite character, but really this is the spirit possessing
right.
Kira.
Who's your favorite possessing spirit?
Yeah, and it's sort of like that filtered through Kira. You know? She's possessed by a spirit that's manipulative and attempting to overthrow this power.
Yeah.
So filtered through Kira, she's like, oh, I'm going to be at times very harsh and cold, and at other times very flirty and sexual.
Yeah.
You know? And I just...
Do you think that it was written sexually, or that that's just when she plays these roles that are like her in a power position? Is she bringing that to the table?
I think that the way that Nana Visitor plays evil is to be sexy with it. You know, I think it's a healthy mix of both.
Yeah.
Because this wasn't written... I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe the script did say, lock eyes in a sexually voracious way with Jadzia for 5 seconds. You know? Look like you're about to smell her neck. Maybe it was written that way, but I feel like it came across in the performance.
I think maybe a little bit like she's like cat-like or something.
Yeah.
Because she's very cat-like. She's definitely a cat.
And it is a kind of common trope of, like, especially in Star Trek, of like, oh, we're in the mirror universe, so, you know, you're all sexed up.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
Bisexual women are evil, or the evil women are all, you know, pansexual creatures. That's like a go-to trope. So
yeah, I mean, you want like the representation, but you also want variety of representation. Like it's not representation if it's tokenism.
Yes.
Yeah. My vote for this favorite character is absolutely 100% Odo. Like so Odo. I fucking love Odo in this episode.
Yeah,
just for the way that he leaves a room.
Looks back. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so great. I love it. And I love that he's the first one to like pick up that well, he's the only one who's not fucked up, but he like picks up that something's wrong. Go Girl says wasn't watching or listening, was listening to music, checking chat from time to time.
Yeah,
with a lull and a face pump. I love it. Hey man, thanks for keeping the stream on. Yeah. You're going above and beyond. You're not even watching and you're still viewing. That's nice.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. If 100 people did that, you know,
our numbers would be up.
Yeah, totally. We're back on the same page. Good. We were. What was word there? You know?
So what's the chat vote?
I'm not done talking about how.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, not only how he leaves the room, but like he kind of puts things together, and then not just that, but he takes a step beyond to like act like he's with people, and he just kind of like plays everybody perfectly. He would be a amazing Survivor player. Can we please have Celebrity Survivor with Odo?
It wouldn't be fair. Well, no, because he's not good at making faces.
He's also not a real person.
Because he can shapeshift. Like a shapeshifter could not lose Survivor.
Yeah,
because you could pretend to be anyone and then be like, "Fuck you and your alliance."
Yeah, she says, "I also host you." So yeah, totally. You're getting all the credit in the world, Go Girl. You're amazing. Yeah, I think I auto host you, don't I? If I don't, I should fix that. Yeah, I auto host you. Yeah, go follow Go Girl. She's awesome. So yeah, for me, it's definitely Odo. Okay, let's check what chat says. It's a tie between Cisco and Odo. Sodo or Cisco-do. Benjamin Soto. Are we good? Benjamin Soto?
Benjamin Soto, sure.
Like Benjamin Quoto. That was a good one. All right, moving on to best performance. And today's been fun where I feel like the favorite character and best performance are not lining up at all. It's always kind of boring when they do. But when they don't, I think it's really interesting.
A lot of times if I'm torn, I've said this before, say I'm torn between a favorite character between two people, or I'm torn between two actors for a favorite actor or best performance, I'll try to tease it out and see if I can't split the difference and pick one for one and the other for the other.
Yeah, I do that too.
And that's kind of what I'm doing here.
Okay.
And
here's your chat poll. There you go.
I am picking Avery Brooks for my favorite performance.
Best performance?
Yeah.
Tell me why.
As always, whenever I pick him, it's because dude makes bold choices.
Yeah.
The man is always swinging for the fences. And I feel like at a low-level background, he has got the Cisco character on lockdown. Like, even just that basic level of Cisco is fantastic. And whenever he gets a chance to stretch his legs, it's a thing to behold. It's a thing of beauty.
Yeah. Obviously, that's the correct answer. And I mean, all you have to say is, o'clock. That's all you have to say to know that he has the best performance.
Oh no.
Yeah, I really appreciate when serious actors go wonky. Like when they're willing to just have like no sense of their own self and just let it go.
Yeah.
You know, Picard does that all the time. Yeah. Or, Patrick Stewart does that all the time as Picard. And Avery Brooks is a very similar type of actor in some ways, in that he like was very Shakespearean. He commits to something and he just goes and he does it. And this episode, like all of his weird quirks and mannerisms and stuff. Oh, but fuck, what about Odo leaving a room? The way that Odo leaves a room is so good. It's got to be Cisco though. The clock, man.
Yeah.
That is the moment of the episode. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. Oh yeah, Amanda's with me on Odo for favorite character. Let's see about best performance. What do people say? It's 100% Cisco. Yay!
This is
Avery Brooks swept it.
Full unanimous vote.
So we asked earlier, is Avery Brooks a good actor? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Because he swept the best performance category.
Okay. Mushroom rating.
Mushroom rating, yes.
This one is it's a high. This is I mean, first of all, we have double transporters.
Double transporter.
We're already and double transporters.
It's like a double rainbow, but rarer.
Carrying a telepathic virus that they can't see there.
Well, when you say it like that,
infects everybody. Seems to spread because not everyone that's infected is there when the infection happens, I think, and then it spreads to other people.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they use whatever sound wave to manifest it physically out in the world, and then shoot it out into space.
Yes.
That feels like nonsense.
Yes.
So I'm going 7, maybe an 8 with the double transporter.
Nice.
8 mushrooms.
Yeah, that feels right to me. I feel like...
And I'm fine with it.
I feel like
also, I'm fine with it.
Totally. The double transporter, to me, feels like about a 7.
Yeah.
The virus taking over everybody... Given what we know about Star Trek and what's out there in the universe, these types of things exist.
They should exist.
They're all over the place.
Right. There should be articles on telepathic matrices.
Honestly, that feels like about a 5 to me. So I think I'm going to give this a 6
I
on
like
the mushroom scale.
You judge it by, does this happen within the Star Trek universe versus, like, is it plausibly scientific?
Well, but the thing is that the Star Trek universe is supposed to be a continuation of our history, so
Right.
it all has to be plausibly scientific to
Right.
exist in the Star
I'm just saying-
Trek universe. So it is based off of space magic to me.
Right.
But I think that the Star Trek has spent years kind of explaining transporters.
Right.
So transporters feel lower to me.
Yeah, see,
even though they are high on the scale.
It's like Q. It's like you can't have Q in 100 episodes and then go, you know what, Q's not space magic anymore.
Right.
He's always space magic whenever he shows up.
Sure,
Transporters
but when they try to
always space
explain
magic.
Q, when they try to explain him and you go to the Q continuum, it makes less sense.
Yes.
So it makes it more mushrooms.
Yeah, don't pick at that scab.
But as you explain transporters, it makes more sense.
It's the beauty of mushrooms is that when you try to lower the level, they just start replicating.
Yeah, if you explain something and it becomes more magical, you got a higher mushroom count. You got some fungal growth.
Oh shit, the mushrooms are replicating.
Yeah. Oh, Amanda says she was talking about Brooks yelling Odo. Odo!
Odo!
Oh, he's so good. Wow, this was so fucking fun, you guys. We've been going for almost 3.5 hours, so we're not going to play any games today.
No games. Last meme. Show the last meme.
Oh, the last meme, yeah. We got a couple more minutes to go. We got some things to talk about before we get out of here.
Housekeeping.
Yeah, housekeeping
You
stuff.
can put this up, and then you can talk over this.
Okay, this one, right?
Yeah.
I'm not reading it, but it looks good. I like not reading it till it's on screen.
That's handy.
Yeah. Because either I'm laughing or I'm puzzled. But search for Doug Space 9 on Instagram and you'll find us. We'll find Doug's stuff.
Right.
Downloads. Photos. My downloads is just a bunch of Doug memes now. Wow, I can't see straight. My eyes are getting blurry.
No, scroll up.
There it is.
Breaks can't.
But Discovery breaks canon, so it's not real Star Trek. Wait, let me resize. This is a good reveal.
This is a good
Me.
reveal.
You see, unlike you, I understand history.
Yeah.
A clock.
A clock. But this is me when everyone's like, yeah, well, Discovery does this thing that's not canon, so it's not really Star Trek.
Yeah.
You don't understand Star Trek, my friend.
Yeah.
You don't understand Star Trek history.
I love this one. This is great. Yeah.
Okay, so
everyone go to our Instagram and give some love to Doug's awesome memes.
Yes.
I think it's at DougSpace9 on Instagram. I think we got DougSpace9.
That's not, I'd be surprised if there was a land grab for it.
Yeah, totally. DougSpace9 is going to be very popular in about 10 years.
It's our brand. We're building it.
Yeah, exactly. Next week is a big week. Next week is the season finale of season 1. And by next week, I mean in 2 weeks, because we do this every other week.
Right. We do it best.
Yeah, make sure you're in my Discord, because that's where I post all the announcements about when the show is happening. Yeah, around 2 p.m. on Friday every other week is what we're shooting for.
I'm usually late.
Yeah, usually a little late.
I do my best.
And I am going to post this whole thing on YouTube. So we are switching from YouTube to Twitch for the live stream. But it's all going to be on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. You're awesome. Leave a comment down below if you have something you want to say or questions or whatever. We will address it live in the next episode.
Requests.
Oh, and I have a voicemail for I call it the sci-fi line on my. That's how I saved it on my phone that I made for my old podcast. So if you want to call this number and like leave your thoughts, we will play it. If it's I'm calling myself. I'll like listen to it, and if it's worth playing, we'll play it on the next episode and talk about it. Hold on, let me pull the number up. Okay, so it's 541-649-2019. You're typing it, but it doesn't go anywhere when you type it.
Did I get it right?
I don't know, because you just typed it and your cursor wasn't there, so.
I see. 549. You're gonna have to read it again.
541-649. 2019, the year of our Lord. Year of our Lord Discovery.
Just so people.
Yeah, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, Jermacia.
So they can copy paste.
Yeah, I'll put that in Discord. Yeah, so there's a link to my Discord down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, come check us out live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jesse_Mercury.
Am I pointing at the link?
I don't know. Yes.
Am I pointing at
Yeah, down below. There's all the stuff down below.
Pointing at your space junk.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. This was fucking rad. Are we done?
I think we're done. I think
Did we forget anything?
It's 3 hours. I hope we didn't.
Yeah, we're at 3 hours and 27 minutes. I think we covered it. Thank you guys. Oh yeah, let's go raid somebody. Let's see if any of my friends are live. Of course, that's not working as usual. Let's open this in a new tab. Okay, who's live? Who's live? Who's live? Quite a few people. Oh, Jen's Orbit is live. Shavd is live. Aldwolf. Are you guys in the mood for some Mario? I've been watching this great streamer recently. Really enjoying her stuff. She's playing Grand Poo World 2. I think she's like a very similar level of skill to me in Mario, so I really like watching her because Feels more realistic than like watching Ryukar. Yeah, she's great. So let's go drop a host over there.
Hello, Pooh World.
Alright, guys. We're gonna raid Jen's Orbit. She's playing Grand Pooh World 2. Click to join the raid. Oh, Go-Go, you're gonna stream in about 10 minutes. Yeah, make sure you check out Go-Girl when she goes live. Alright, we got 4 people. Let's get some more in there, you guys. I mean, 4 people's great, but let's,
Let's get
I got no pride. I'll do a small raid.
I feel like with a small raid, you want to go raid someone who's got, like, no one watching them.
Yeah, that's true. But we've already made our choice. We're sticking with it.
Well, also, I guess if no one's watching them, I mean, maybe it's not a good stream.
Maybe, that's true. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out. This was awesome. We'll see you soon. If I'm feeling up to it later tonight, I might hop back on and play some Tetris. We'll see. But
Tetris
yeah, I'll definitely be streaming a lot in the next week or so. Alright, love you guys. See you soon. Bye.